Level Sync, a Final Fantasy XI podcast with your hosts, DA Soccer, Lost Time Lord, and Quetch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Level Sync podcast, a Final Fantasy XI podcast. Very recently, Horizon dropped the Treasures of Adargon expansion that we've been waiting for quite a long time. We're going to talk about that and our experiences with it today. But before we get into that, let me introduce my co-hosts for this episode. We have the main healer blue of Final Fantasy XI, DA Soccer. DA,
hey,
how are you?
I've had to do that. The white mage was absolutely an idiot. But yeah, that's I've done it.
I'm excited to talk about your blue mage journey. When we get into all this, because I think you're a much higher level than I am. Let's say that.
I'm pushing it.
And then we have the server second Corsair of Final Fantasy XI, Druid.
Oh, yeah.
Druid 75.
An hour and a half away. So close.
An hour. Yeah.
You should have skipped an extra meal, man. You should have skipped a meal.
Honestly, it was taking showers is what killed it for me.
That's what always kills you when you fucking are going for world first, dude. You scrub. Wait till Dancer comes out. I'll show you how it's fucking done.
It's like I've never no-lifed in my life before.
Yeah, rookie.
Taking showers will kill gamers in general, so I'm not sure why this was an unknown factor again. And even if I did spend all my gil, I still wouldn't be able to afford pup. Quetch of Final Fantasy XI. Quetch.
True.
Cool. Okay, yeah.
I literally I have enough gil that I could probably buy all the expensive attachments and be flat broke, and that's millions. That's like over 10 mil.
Yeah, we'll dive into that.
Absolutely.
We're not gonna do any what you've been up to today. We're gonna dive straight into this shit, aren't we?
Yeah, because realistically, what we've been up to is Treasures of Adargon.
It's the news.
It's so hot right now.
It's so hot right now.
There's got to be a good image to put on the screen for that one.
I do want to just put a nugget that I did play a little both the testing on Phoenix recently, but we'll talk about that on the asset. Yeah. The biggest fire right now is ironically not the fucking servers. I'll give a props and shout out to the Horizon team on the servers not being absolutely on fire, and everyone was thinking that they would be. I mean, honestly, Rebase was a lot worse, but Rebase was a lot more mechanical than what this was.
Absolutely.
This was smooth as hell. When I was docking with Tall Maple for 48 straight hours for the kids, I counted 6 zone resets and I think 1 zone crash. So it was incredibly good.
48 and that's the area docking, with the boat.
Yeah.
With the boat.
Yeah. 48 hours of docking, man. That's a world record.
I don't know how to spin that one, but you guys know what he means, right?
I feel like he should explain.
In October of last year, we raised money for the Children's Miracle Network. One of the incentives Tall Maple and I decided to do would be if somebody donated a certain incentive, it would lock us out from treasures when it eventually dropped, probably next Friday, and for 24 hours.
Wait, this was 2 years ago?
No, this was last October.
Last year. Okay.
Yeah. So he got hit with 2. I got hit with 2. We were both locked out for treasures when it drops for 48 hours. And we said, I mean, when we heard the news in Chicago about this coming down the pipes, we're like, let's set up a docking stream. And we just went to the dock and streamed 48 straight hours, nonstop docking. Couple highlights. It was I made 250K selling fireworks on the dock just because I had shit in my bazaar and everybody was coming by and like celebrating and everything. I didn't plan that. I did not.
You should have.
Going to be a thing.
You should have done it more.
I should have stockpiled it on that dock. But I made 250K and then I won like a 100K roll against Tall Maple. He slept on stream.
You guys RVR'd?
I actually did other things, but we had a great time. We had your dome swing by a little bit and pick up from that. Pick up when I was AFK. But we had just an awesome docking time to fulfill our Children's Miracle Network. It was, like I said, Twitch allows a 48-hour stream before it resets the VOD. So you can't do a stream longer than 48 hours before it like resets. So technically, since we docked for 48 straight hours, it is tied for the world record for longest active stream during that time frame.
Technically, and that's the best kind of correct.
Yep. Yes, technically, we have set a world record for docking, and I'm very proud of that.
And you guys did nothing. You just watched people
We waved to people. We had a
go
thing
onto
called
ships.
we would bet on Jesus showing up. And Jesus was when people would get on the boat and DC for some reason, the boat would leave and then they would respawn and they'd be walking on water. So that happened probably 1 out of every 4 or 5 boats, and we would be gambling if there was going to be a Jesus. And whenever we'd see a Jesus, we'd wave to him and start shouting, "Jesus, Jesus!" I got killed once on the dock. That was fun. Amazing clip. I'll send it to you, Quetch, if you want to put it in or slice it in here.
Okay.
Did they throw him in the water? Holy shit! Get me out there! I need to get me out there. DA, no! This is the whole reason I was here. He can't swim. He can't swim. No! DA! What are they doing to my boy? You can't do this.
There's the pause.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely hilarious. It was a great time. I could not have been.
Is there any
could
setup
not
for
have
the
been more
clip? Was
enjoyable.
it like a GM or something like that?
They murdered me. I told Tall Maple that I couldn't. Well, let me set it up now, I guess. They murdered me, and I can't swim IRL. I told Tall Maple that, and so when they murdered me and threw me in the fucking water, he was trying to be a lifeguard and save my ass and save me, and he felt so guilty
I know
that
this
he
clip.
wasn't able to. Yes. Okay.
I know
That was
this clip.
that's
We'll splice it
yeah.
in before your explanation. That's great.
okay. Good.
Yeah.
So that again, it would not have been as special without Tall Maple. It wouldn't have been nearly as fun, energetic.
Yeah.
We had people coming by all the time, hanging out. We had other people that already had access, but would pop up a chair and just kick it with us. It was a very enjoyable time, and nothing but love and respect for Tall Maple. If you don't watch him or follow him on Twitch, please do so. He's on multiple different servers, and he already said
Absolutely.
that one of his incentives coming up this year for this October, when we raise money, he's going to put a price point of how much he's raised for deleting characters on this server as well as other servers and starting over. And that's terrifying. So just a heads up on that. Shout out to Tall Maple.
Wow. That's got
I
some
simply
guts.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my price point would be too high. I put it on last year.
Wow.
Thank God nobody snagged that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, I was popping into your stream just to just watch the boat go by, like,
Yeah.
and you called it out, Quetch, that it was kind of like that, the Vanadil
Live cam.
live cam. Thank you.
They discontinued that in 2012. I looked it up. But I actually at one point, since he was sleeping on stream, his foot stuck out. I screenshotted a picture of Tall Maple's feet and I sent it to Solo Wolf, and it was the funniest moment. Solo Wolf absolutely hates it. I think Tall Maple's going to make it like a redeem on his channel where it's Solo Wolf, you like claim it and his foot appears and it's like cheering for Solo Wolf or something. I don't know, but if you didn't know, Solo Wolf is a fan of feet.
I'm so sorry, Solo.
Anyways,
Anyways,
docking,
yeah.
great time, a lot of fun.
We-
Watched everybody enjoy their time over there and watching all the messages appear about server first.
Yeah, I only got to stop by one time. I was so just doing all sorts of things, and I stopped over to say hello and wave and stuff like that. And it just seemed like, I don't know, it was like festivities going on over there for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what else? Those first 2 days, we had another streamer, Mr. Drew, in here. Was that your first like honest to goodness like try at streaming, or no?
I would say probably. I mean, I've streamed like a little bit of like Dragon's Dogma Online and Soulframe and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
certainly my first 11 for sure. And God, over what 5 days, I probably clocked 60 hours, 50 hours.
I believe it.
like that.
You had a lot of people tuning in for.
Whew.
Were you billing it as the race for server first, or was that just kind of the conversation that was happening?
It was kind of the conversation that happened naturally. So, okay, I guess to set the stage, myself and 3 other friends, shout outs to GM Dave, Kuro Tenchi, and Nairu, we all decided that we were going to take the new jobs, static them, and level them up to 75. as fast as we could. And it was never an intention of like being first. We were like, if we hit it, that's awesome. We would love to do that. But I have a love for Corsair, and Dave had a love for blue, and we were like, let's just rip it. And then Nairu was there on thief stealing levels. So we just
Stealing levels?
Stealing, yeah, well, thief.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
well,
thief,
I
yeah.
guess I can't say that. Burning Blade Seda apparently is really good. So whatever. So, we logged in. The first thing we did was unlock jobs, and then we just started hitting the level grind.
You didn't have to hit them for very long before you were already server first. What did you guys get? Pup and blue?
Not me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't the first one to unlock Corsair. I was the second, but there was a bug where the first time you dinged from level 1 to level 2, a server message went out stating that that person was server first, 75 on that. And then, so Blue Mage, Dave was the first one to hit level 2. Server message went out, GM Dave. The server first Corsair 75 was the one who got that message.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then
Was it
I
Rookie?
believe Puppet Master was another friend of ours, Rookie.
Yeah.
Who unlocked it quickly, got to level 2, and then server message went out. And I believe the devs, I don't know if it was a specific dev, followed it up with a server message stating, "Hey, this is a bug. Everybody point and laugh at GM Dave."
Yeah.
Where he
missed
proceeded
that.
to just get
Yeah, I saw that.
truly just like hundreds of tells almost. It felt like that of everybody just
That's
being
awesome.
like, it was ranging from anywhere from like what the fuck is going on to how did you cheat to let's go Dave. Like it was great.
I hope he has a screenshot of like some of those tells and stuff like that. That would be
I
great to
don't
be
know
able
if
to
he
slice it.
does.
He's
Yeah,
probably got your
it-
reaction live on stream. Was the best probably you guys have. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I was definitely on stream because I was on the boat to Nashmau to unlock core when that happened.
Ah,
And we were truly flipping our lid about it. It was great.
that's awesome.
So I mean, we just started leveling. I started streaming the minute I got onto the server. And it didn't start as a race. I think by the time we were level 20, 25 in Quiffum, we started all just like looking at who else was like really pushing to level the jobs.
Yep.
And it kind of just like naturally evolved. To be clear, there were no rules. This was not a thing discussed in advance. It really was super organic. And we kind of built a small community in terms of like Dave was in touch with the blues that were getting leveled up. Kuro was in touch with the pups that were getting leveled up, and I was in touch with the cores, and we were all just kind of keeping tabs. It was really less of a race and more just like keeping tabs more than anything else. But it was a great experience because honestly, because of that conversation, like the conversations that were happening, we got to experience like the Era Plus changes for these jobs and really pin against like what we were doing. Some people were doing pet camps, some people were doing traditional camps. So like, I don't. It was a cool, almost like a sounding board for us to just be like, how is this being tackled? What is everybody finding?
Mhm.
Stuff like that. It took us 5 days to get 75. Dave and I were both server second for our jobs.
How many spells did Dave have when he hit 75?
Oh god.
Like 12 maybe,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And I cannot be clear enough, and I'm gonna out this man. The last 5 levels that he did was watching us kill buggers.
Oh
in
my gosh.
Misirokos.
Yeah, I got to party with you guys for that last
You
bit.
did.
So we made a merit party for the last 5 levels. And Dave was a main healer at the Misero Coast party, but our melees were like, we had who started off? It was me on what, Thief/Nin, and we had like a monk, Kamishi on monk. Relic monk / war, but the relics all the counters, so we're not taking much damage. And so GM Dave is on the sideline as blue, staying far away because there's sheeps in this camp. DA, I don't know if you've been to this merit camp, to make sure that we wake up. And one of just some of my favorite memes. Like I got to see, I didn't get to watch your guys' whole journey, but I kind of like absorbed some of the memes that had happened. So Dave realized he'd been healing as blue basically the whole way up. And what are you doing? You're giving fruit
60 and higher.
Okay, 60 and higher.
He tanked,
He
1
tanked it.
to 60, healed 60 to 75.
Okay, he realized he's like feeding people fruit and stuff like that the whole way up. So it's kind of like, what what was it? Drew, and
So
help me
the
out
running
here.
joke is that he was, instead of GM Dave, he was General Manager Dave, because we were getting the EXP, he was keeping us awake to do
Yeah.
our job.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
when we all would fall asleep, he'd throw a pizza party, you know, like general managers do, to try to boost morale, and he'd wake us all up with a Karaga. So he'd be like,
What
pizza
the
party, and we'd all wake up. And
Fantastic.
I mean,
it was so great.
we were riffing on that idea the whole time too, and it was a good like celebration lap at the end of your guys' journey, especially after you knew you were out of the running for first. It was like, okay, we're just gonna rock this thing out.
And like by that point, the 4 of us that have been in that static kind of the whole time, we were on such little sleep. We were taking care of like the bare minimum in terms of like I was I did like some mild cleaning around the house. I had already prepped, like meal prepped. Like I knew that this was gonna be me like no lifing. And I'll say, as a dude in his 30s, I don't get the opportunity to no life like a video game like this very often.
Right. Felt
And
good.
it just brought me back, dude.
Hell yeah, man.
Just
Hell
brought it
yeah.
back, dude.
You get that
Um,
the scent or the linger of a LAN party from back in the
oh
day.
my god.
Oh,
It really was. It was like me reliving some like what are thought of as glory days, and going like by the end of it being like, oh, I'm so glad I did that, but why did I do that? Like it was fulfilling. It was a great time.
hell
Met
yeah.
a lot of like really cool people who I'm still in touch with, like a lot of the core community. And man, I wouldn't have traded it for anything, to be honest with you. And it was just it was nice to also be able to provide a window. Like I will just touching base on like me streaming that event. It was cool to provide a window into like because we had a party of all 3 of the new jobs. So people could come in and be like, what is Core's differences? How is Pup playing? Like, what kind of spells did you guys get along the way? And one of my favorite things that we were able to do was route our EXP camps through the blue spell mobs that we knew we needed to learn
Right.
in order to like keep our fuel going. And like it real high highs and low lows. We had some days where like our route was perfect. We picked up exactly the spells that we needed. And then we had day 3 where everything went wrong. We did like a Calibri camp, and it was awful. And I just
You guys were basically jumping around at that point looking for a good camp, because I think like 1 or 2
Yeah.
there was like something that was taken that you had planned on for that level range maybe, or
Ifrit's
something.
Cauldron.
Oh, Aruka's.
We were about an hour away from going to Ifrit's Cauldron. We made the conscious decision to not go to Ifrit's Cauldron too early because our sync was like just too low. We should have just ripped it, if only just to hold the camp and be able to like get subpar EXP for a level or 2, but then to be able to be there for 12 hours. You know what I mean? So that one decision like really set us back. It was totally our fault. Like, but that was part of it, right? That was that whole organic journey of like, we need to, and at the end of each day, we'd be like, how are we routing tomorrow? Dave, what spells do you need to be able to exist in some capacity for this
Yeah,
party?
because the
Yeah.
business will fail if management is not
Yes. Yes.
happy.
I
How do we
just-
make your data reports look good?
Yes, I'm an indie dude coming on Saturday.
Dude, General
but-
Manager Dave being the new lore is just, I didn't see that coming, and it hit me like a freight train.
It was great. It was great.
And
like,
he's a manager
like,
at work at his job IRL, by the way, too.
I'm gonna grab another drink. Keep going. I can hear you.
All right.
I mean, I'll say that like we saved up EXP bands. Like I had all 3 anniversary bands. We had a Google spreadsheet of how far the bands are going to get us in terms of like EXP, so that we
Mhm.
can plan to be ahead of the pact of like all of the people leveling. Which was like our initial goal. We were like, by day 2, we need to be competing with only the people who are no lifing with us.
Right.
So we don't
Oh,
have to like
absolutely.
compete for camps and stuff like that. But we hit that pivot point where around the level 50s, there's only a few good camps.
So
kinda
you're
get
like,
it,
let's try the Calibri. That day, the morale was definitely low.
It was low. It was not our best point. But we got to Sky, and then after Sky, it was just like a breeze of just sailing through, and
Yeah.
called in a few favors. You came Dragoon mage
Dude,
for a
I
little
literally,
while.
so it's funny. If we go all the way back in the podcast, I remember talking about wanting to play Dragoon, and this was just like, I don't know, just like I wanted to play a melee job, and it was like I think that'll be cool, especially when ToAU releases. I think Dragoon/Blue is a really cool, job.
Yep.
And I shelved it because this is what happened. I got Riddle from demo,
Hey,
and Pivot. I'm like, I got to make a warrior because otherwise, people are gonna look at me just having Thief and be like, well, you're not Riddle War. Like, what are you doing? Which I agree with. Although that's not been a great weapon combo in Horizon because of the changes to two-handers. That's neither here nor there. I shelved my 65 Dragoon, which is prime whooping Skybird ass level. And I was like, when Tau comes out, I'll revisit it because I'll play Dragoon/Blue. I'll have a good time. I pulled that ripcord when you guys were in Sky. I was just like, let's just play Dragoon/Red Mage, and because I've had great experiences with Dragoon/Mage in parties, and I've always talked about on stream how cool I think it is, and got to rip it. And I streamed with you guys like 5 hours or something like that in that EXP party.
yeah.
And then literally shelved all the gear afterwards. Like it was so weird to just be like, I'm not planning on taking this to 75. I literally just played it to play the job, to enjoy that play style and help, and honestly really help you guys out in the process. So that was one long stream of just Dragoon/Red Mage.
Yeah, and one of the coolest builds, in my opinion, like I like that Dragoon/Mage is so popular on Horizon because I think it's so interesting and fun and unique, and
It
I mean, I
arises
think
right
that-
out of the systems of 11
Yeah.
in a way that is really fascinating to me as well.
that was one of the most unique Sky parties I think we had because we were on
Oh,
two
yeah.
Dragoon sub mages, a Corsair, a Thief, a Puppet Master, and then Dave was like Blue Bard, kind of healing, but not
I
really.
did that the other day. I did that the other Blue Bard.
You
I
said
did it the other
something.
day.
Yeah, you popped in my stream and said something about it. You did the Blue Bard thing as well, right, DA?
Yeah.
What was-
That was at the beginning where I just said that we had a horrible white mage, so I pivoted. It was at bird camp in Cadaver Mire and we had like a samurai that was using just popping with a bow. We had a dragoon there, and we had a core and a ranger. And it was basically a sky party in Cadaver Mire on birds. And the white mage, for the 2.5 hours we were there, didn't cast regen once and was not very on top of their shit. So I pivoted from melee into the front line. I switched to blue/bard, and we were clapping, dude.
It rocks, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
like what was so cool about the way that interaction worked for my party in Sky was the one Mage's Ballad from Dave's sub on Blue was keeping up the mana pool of the Dragoon Mages the whole time.
I had
with
auto
no
refresh, core refresh. I had ballad, and I also had lights day. So I was rocking. Dude, I was just rocking it, dude. I didn't have magic fruit at that time, so it was literally wild carrot spam. That's all it was until I got magic fruit the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt comfortable as hell. I just switched all to my main healing gear and my healing setup and all that stuff, and it just I put on a what's the royal cloak? I believe it is.
Vermeek?
No, it's the HQ.
Oh, Royal.
The Royal.
Well,
Yeah, it's Royal. So I rocked the Royal and was just like, fuck it, I'll be the main healer. You
just described like 8 MP a tick at like whatever level 50 something that was or whatever.
Yeah, we were clapping, dude. It was great. They were sitting there. You see a slug shot and then a fucking sidewinder and then just shit going left and right and they triple pull. And then I'd sit there and the core would sleep one and I would sleep another and we were just clapping, man. It was great. It was great XP for a horrible white mage, which is rare to say.
And I don't know at what point if we want to touch base on it, but I got to tell you, core feels great.
Yeah,
it feels great on this server.
We can definitely dive into that a little bit more. Let's get you guys to 75 because we're almost there in the story.
So we hit Sky, then we go to Mizero Coast. We pick up some ringers for us, some relic. We had Cammy on Relic Monk, then we swapped it for Ariel on Relic Monk, and I know
Yeah.
you did Thief into
And then
Red Mage.
swap
I
to
mean,
Red Mage, yeah. Red Mage
switched to
DD, Red Mage
Bard.
/ Nin DD in a merit party, and it
Oh,
went
Sword
really
Hume?
well.
Is that you?
What?
That's a deep cut. Sword Hume. That's a deep cut.
That's ringing a bell. Is that some like Alakazam stuff right
Don't
there?
worry about it. Don't worry about it. I hope one person comments in the comment section about me bringing up Sword Hume because
Yeah,
of
somebody tell me what Sword
DD.
Hume is in the comments.
Bring it up down below.
Yeah, haste isn't worth casting.
I played Red Mage / Nin in the melee party, or as a melee in the merit party, and it was just good. It was almost as good as my Thief in terms of total DPS.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, I've got now 3 out of 5 in the new Red Mage merits. I will have to get into merits at some point soon in this podcast as well. But you know, we haven't talked about much is Kuro's journey in this process, because Kuro did hit server first 75 pup.
Yes.
By like a country mile, if I'm correct on that.
Almost a full day, I think.
Yeah.
There was very little competition on the pup side. I mean,
because nobody can afford it.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to speak to that.
Even there.
We'll get to it. I got it in my notes. I got 3 comments.
No, I'm going to speak to that for Kuro, because Kuro got to level 50 on the base frame.
Yeah,
like
he didn't even get the new frame.
The Valor Edge. Like the base frame that couldn't decide if it wanted to Dia or Bio or Provoke or sit there and do nothing. We were our inside joke on it was that it was some eldritch entity, because we had no idea what it was going to do.
You just roll the dice. It's like, oh, it hit a 17. It's going to cast this.
I think the base frame got to level 30, said, why am I still like this? And couldn't comprehend itself.
I love the idea that you guys went 50 levels and still could not glean what this thing was thinking at any moment in time. I wonder what the devs. I wonder if they pulled anything from that journey.
Kuro was playing around with different maneuver strategies too. Like it wasn't like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Like it was actually physically trying to play this job. And to be clear, like Kuro was top DPS pretty much the whole way through. Pup,
that is wild.
Slaps.
Pup's have been clapping.
It slaps. And he would try to pick up attachments. Like he spent quite a bit of gil, like picking up like the buyable attachments and trying to get some of the crafted stuff. Like Quetch, you were interacting with that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the really, really good stuff. And Pup was still performing super well. Kuro was knocking it out of the park. And we eventually swapped it over to Valor Edge. Did okay, like a little bit more damage. It was more reliable. It wasn't trying to bio the mob we wanted to deal more damage to.
Can I just slot in really quick for the people listening?
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of tension revolving around having the best puppet attachments. Because if you check the AH, you will see there's an attachment at 4 mil, 5 mil, 3 mil, 1.5. I do want to interject here that you don't need those things. In fact, puppet masters are slapping in parties without them. So I know there's a bit of FOMO running around. So I just wanted to touch on it really quick in case people are having that and are, no, it's still doing very well in EXP parties.
A lot of people are upset about that. In fact, fun fact, it is the only Discord channel that is still in slow mode after launch of treasures on Horizon Discord. Every channel, including Dark Knights, are not in slow mode. So every day I try to go in there and I post a picture of a sloth and I continue about my day.
And look, those Dark Knights are real. They're suffering.
Yeah. That's my first 2 comments. I'm ready to go.
I didn't think the job could get more emo. Anyway.
Do I need to switch to my Linkin Park shirt when I start talking about the emo Dark Knights?
We're talking, anyway. So and we were second. We finished out day 5 hitting 75 for myself and Dave. Day 6, kind of midday, we just went and slammed like 2 more levels. They did a little bit without me because I had an appointment, but we did manage to go get a merit party and get Kuro 275, and he beat everybody by like a day.
Like a full day, yeah.
Like a full day. But Pup, it rocks. It performed so well, pretty much from like Gelsuba Outpost Party through the end of the journey. It was strong. So, and we didn't expect it. Not a lot of gear. They air plus some leveling gear for Pup. But some like good accuracy stuff like Jujitsu GI.
Assault Jerkin.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jujutsu gi is much better.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But assault is a really good weapon skill piece to have in
It
the,
is a good
in the
weapon.
back
Yeah,
pocket.
it's-
Yeah, don't shit on that. Come on now.
18 attack.
I'm not an
for
assault jerkin fan. I don't know.
I'm definitely a
Regardless,
This
Stricken
guy.
fan.
regardless, they added pup to a few different leveling pieces, but it's still pretty gear light.
Yeah.
And as long as your weapon's up to date, man, it like I said, it slaps. So
Bellsbow is beautiful, especially with the prices of dark crystals and fire crystals lately.
yeah,
Still, I think. Yeah.
massive
yeah,
build.
they're both running about almost 4K, three
Fire-
to 4K.
Fire,
a
dark, and
stack.
light.
Yep.
Because cores are bleeding money trying to get cards and bullets right now, and it is jacking up the price of crystals.
It's wild.
So
I have a bunch of crystals. I didn't realize that. I've just been using them on various goldsmithing stuff.
even a
Oh.
stack of ice clusters hit like 15, 20K today.
Good call out on crafting. That's one thing I forgot to mention. I, for the first time ever, HQ'd something and I signed it. I've never been a crafter in my entire history. I went 50% on beak necklace plus ones.
Oh, great.
Best resting piece in the game for
Oh,
all.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's
And
tied.
then I do what?
It's tied.
Tied for +2? Yeah.
Yeah, with
But
the
all
with
jobs level 50.
with a neck that's a lot harder to get. So
Okay.
Yep.
it's still BIS, but it is tied. Just to be clear.
Yeah, I did that. I went 50% on those. I crafted 3, signed them, and I also did what's the new bow with magic defense bonus
Lamia,
plus
come
2?
on.
Oh, the Lamia.
I got one of those crafted, and I signed that as well, +1.
Wait, is that a Bonecraft synth?
Hi, hello, yes.
Oh, Cashew's got to make one.
Okay, and I also did what is the it's a horn. Shofar horn or something like that. Scofar.
Shofar is a horn.
I don't know. Yeah, +1 that as well.
Okay.
Signed it.
I think it's an old
And
synth.
it's-
I don't know.
No, I don't think so because
okay.
there was only like 2 on the auction house running about 700K.
Oh,
I must
dang.
be newer then. Yeah.
But no, I'm just very happy because I've never been a crafter, and those were my first ever HQ signed fucking pieces. So I've been having a good time with that.
The beak necklace is great because that's the type of thing anybody will have that they could use. So that's a great sign
Level
piece.
50.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Level 50, all jobs. Great.
I do want to touch base on that Lamia bow for a second
What's up?
because fun fact, day one, Corsairs were not gun users.
Oh, there was an error
There
with
was
the
a-
DATs.
An error with the DAT. So cores, when they unlock the job now, they get a level 1 gun called a pea shooter.
Yeah.
Day one, the DAT was wrong because it was pulling a Lamia bow DAT. So when you went to fire your gun with bronze bullets,
Your
the
hexagon,
core
your
would
starter
pull out-
hexagon.
yeah, your starter pea shooter hexagon, you'd pull out a full, like, big longbow and
Intricate,
fire the longbow,
intricate
Oh,
green longbow.
Yeah. Nothing says
And-
pirate like a longbow.
and it was an endless source of jokes for day one for
I
every
didn't even hear
Corsair.
about that.
Oh,
Holy shit.
it was great. I miss it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I miss it.
Good times. Yeah, no, you guys know I have like max goldsmithing and stuff. I didn't actually do much other than Kuro's since I basically from the start of the server, especially those first like 5 days that you're kind of referencing here, is like if I would have just spent my time like thief farming and like synthing stuff for HQ, I would have made a ton of gil, but
Oh, much kill.
I jumped headfirst into everything Tau, and that was my experience for those first days because I had PTO as well and was just streaming the whole time, which is I barely got a chance to. I mean, Drew and I would occasionally pull your stuff up on the side because we'd be in like voice chat or whatever, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, or I'd be watching, or we'd just be watching as a stream because I'd be like, oh, how far along is the server first, for Core Blue and Pup and stuff?
You were lurking in the docking channel?
Only a little.
Okay, so you were like cucks.
I wasn't sitting, but
I feel like we can move on.
Yeah, I feel like that too. Before we dive into a lot of it, let me ask you, how are your progressions with both assaults and the story missions of treasures coming along? Because I haven't heard anything from either one of you about that.
yeah, so for me, that was what I was doing like day one, day two. So there's the, I think even you maybe were the one who warned me, DA, like weeks ago, that there were JP lockouts at a couple of different points.
Yes.
And
because there's 2 back to back as well, like
roughly,
mission 5
yeah.
and 6 or something like that.
a 7 maybe, yeah.
Just, yeah, 6, 7. Yeah, good job.
Literally, we could have never addressed it.
I said 5, 6, and he was like 7. I was like, God damn it, dude. That's why I said 5 is 6.
I was thinking between 5 and 7. I think anyway, 5, 7. All right. My experience was doing the missions from day 1 and then day 2 and making sure I'm hitting those JP midnight weights. I was at the forefront of missions. I had assaults unlocked the moment I could, and then utilized those tags the day I had 4 and just did 4 of the 5 assaults, and then the 5th on the next day, like, was at the forefront of assaults. I'm a little behind. I think I'm like 1 KI behind on doing all the final assaults right now. For the tier 3.
Tier 3 on assaults.
Yes, I've done 1 of the 5.
Private, yeah.
Yeah, but I believe I have all tags, and I'm like maybe burning 1 if I don't use it tonight. Essentially, is where I'm at right now. But basically, just started doing that, and that was a lot of the stream. Was really well. Yeah, were you gonna ask something, Da?
So your missions are done, and you're just working on your tier 3.
Right now, yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah. Missions have been done for a week plus.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they weren't that hard, and half the missions are talk to the Donnie mommy, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
How Tao is. Tao's missions are.
Yeah, no, I love it. That's why there's 48 of them, though. Druid, are you tier 3?
So yeah, so I at this point I'm all caught up, but I will say, like, we didn't do any, like, I maybe got a staging point and got the badge, so I had lured the Wildcat
Staging points
for off time, but we didn't do like any missions or assaults for that leveling process. Like, I think the first thing Dave and I said when he hit 75 was, great, now we can play Tao.
South Park. I immediately think of the South Park meme.
Yeah. So we were technically, I mean, we were / are technically behind in terms of like assaults, but I mean, we're superior private. We've been using our tags correctly and all caught up and doing Ashu to Leaf, which I'm sure we'll go into, and yada yada. So
yeah, superior private is rank 3 essentially, and it's the end of it. Once you're done with all those, then it's just spamming the ones you want for that particular assault piece or assault points.
Right. There are 15 assaults in the game currently.
I figured being 2 days behind everyone, I'd be a lot further behind, but I finished my missions and I'm in SP as well, and I literally have the tags to finish SP right now if I wanted to. So I mean, it was good to be able to unlock that and get that done ASAP. But yeah. You mentioned Lure the Wildcat, the teleport from Juneau to Whitegate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I fucked that up at one point, and I couldn't figure out which NPC I didn't talk to.
Oh no.
And I couldn't figure it out. And guess which one it was?
The one right next to the dude in Upper Juneau?
It was Red Ghost.
Oh, really?
Dude, no way.
It was my baby. It was my baby. I didn't think
AFK on that man constantly.
I think I literally talked about you when I was hitting Red Ghost for my quest.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's a emo to my channel and everything. Red Ghost is my boy. But
you really forgot Red Ghost.
I thought I hit him. That's the thing. I'm always on him, so I thought I hit him, but I didn't. So I had 19 of the 20, and I couldn't fucking figure out who it was.
I think we have to say Red Ghost is the NPC in Port Juneau. It's the Galka in armor that walks back and forth.
Yeah.
You'll
for
see
the
me
people who just don't know it by name, but it's kind of iconic.
Yeah.
If I'm ever looking for a party and not spell hunting, I am on auto follow on him. And did I ever tell you a story of the reason why I do that?
I think you back in retail. I think so. This is the story, right? Back in retail, you would do that so you didn't get DC'd.
Not just DC'd, since it was on the PlayStation. I mean, the Xbox 360. I didn't want something being burned into my TV, so that's why I auto followed him. So it was like a screensaver while I was seeking, because I would fall asleep on the couch with the controller in my hand, waiting for it to vibrate for a tell to let me know that I got a party invite.
That rules.
But that's sorry.
I have a tangent of my own. I have a tangent of my own. There's a video on YouTube about somebody connecting to a private server on the PlayStation 2. By the way, more to follow if there's anything advancements in that project chat or viewer.
Does this excite you, DA?
No.
Okay, great.
For those of you who are excited, comment down below.
You know what, Quetch? I'm sorry, we're being reductive. You want to tell us why you're excited about that?
Because it involves having the game on the hard drive and having the network adapter and connecting to a private server and playing through the files on the PS2, which end at a certain point in PS2 release. This isn't like the client we have for Horizon that's being put onto a PS2. It's like the game files for the end of the life of the PS2, and that's all you have. And so it's fascinating.
If it was a PS5, they would just, remove that on there and say that there's no more physical discs and you should do everything digitally and just remove the content directly from it because you're not allowed to do that anymore.
The treasures of art are gone.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going over kind of my first 5 days. The other thing that I got heavily involved in was the effort for the mirrors. So besides from doing leveling, or not, I didn't do leveling. Shout out to Rain, one of the people that puts gathered together with DA on the team for that. Aside from doing missions and then doing staging points and those kinds of things, one of the things I did was go to those mirrors and try. I was part of two of the earlier groups trying to figure out how to even kill them, and a little bit of for the viewer, or maybe if you don't know what was going on, is all the staging points were locked. Yeah, you could go to them and unlock them, like for to have, but you couldn't travel out to them because they were being guarded, like it was disabled unless the server got together and killed these archaic mirrors, which were summoning ads, and also like an H&M, like a Cerberus or a Chimera or whatever. And basically we had like 100-something people. Our first trip out there was like, it was like bugged. So the mirror had just been like spawning. Like anytime somebody would try to pull, it would spawn like a wave of mobs, and those wave of mobs didn't despawn. So what ended up happening was there were so many mobs in the zone that you just died if you tried pulling or engaging with it anyway. And so there's something had to be patched there, but basically then Rain and Nathan. And Rain and Nathan and crew, basically the Were Dragon homies were really creating an effort for the server to get out there and fight those things. And then day by day, it was like one a day. The server would gather out there with like over 100 people, and we would fight the ads, we would fight the mirrors, we would fight the NMs as they spawned. Eventually, we had 2 mirrors left. People got wise to the strat is if you just have people pulling and sleeping, you can zerg down the mirrors. You just full DPS the mirrors. It takes a while, but it kills them, and that was the final 2 mirrors were basically killed like that, with the final mirror being probably the quickest of them all.
Shout out to Silk Road with the organization that they have there. If you are interested, get a Silk Road link, go over, because they actually have that channel. Once all of them were defeated, they shut that channel down saying, hey, we did it. But that channel has been reopened recently, mainly because we found out that they're respawning. They're not as potent, and a lot of people were not happy about us having to be able to continuously beat mirrors to be able to the staging point. But I will give a shout out or a good job to Horizon saying we need to make this actually something that people want to fucking do. So they added 3K CP ISP to it. And that is making it worthwhile to be able to take. So
easier to defeat, high ISP reward.
Yeah, I'm never a fan of creating a problem, creating the solution, and expecting a reward. But at the same time, I do like how they said we need to give an incentive. They actually did something to encourage that behavior. They said also in the patch notes, it'll only happen like once or twice a month. It looks like they're spawning almost on a 10-day rotation from what I'm seeing. But that Silk Road channel is open for organization of killing these if you're looking to be able to get to 3K IS, because that is actually some good money.
Yeah,
so I wanted to give that shout out.
I'll go ahead and agree. Like the first killing of each of them makes sense. It's like it's tough. The server comes together and does it. Yeah. The first 5 felt rewarding to defeat. Once that one popped up and it had no reward or no knowledge or no nothing to it, it was like, please don't. And then then the message came out saying like, okay, we cut its HP drastically, and we're giving a 3K IS reward to anybody who shows up. It's like, oh yeah, let's go head out there and do it. You know, it's the same way Besieged was in Era. It was like, oh, Besieged is happening. I'm gonna get some points or whatever. Let's just go do it. You know, rather than out of the goodness of our hearts, let's get 100 people to go spend an hour doing a thing.
Yeah. Thank God they fucking did something with that.
I'm gonna lob a negative take.
It should have never been implemented as
I gotta lob a negative take here.
Go.
Like,
I'm trying to be positive Polly on this, saying they actually did give a reward, but it should have never occurred in the first place in my position. Or honestly, that's like saying we're going to respawn the trees and you lose outpost warping.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm
Fucking
gonna use a
stupid.
classic. I'm gonna use a classic maneuver here called the compliment sandwich. All right. I'm gonna
God.
say I do like the original mirrors. I think that
Okay.
they were. I think the killing them was
Mhm.
like fine, but the overarching concept of it, like we have to unlock it. That's fun. Creates the community effort. It makes an exciting week one. I'm all for that. I think that rocks. I only got to interact with the last mirror, but I did it. I was there for the whole thing. So like interesting. Um, the respawn, I'm fine with it respawning. I'm not fine with it fully locking the staging point out. If you want to like double the staging point cost to teleport there while the mirror's active, or like exit by 5, or just make it really annoying, sure. I'm all for that. That's fine.
Add some friction, not
Not all
strip your
friction.
not strip your agency away
Yeah.
completely.
Not a
It's
fuck
like-
you.
Yeah.
Look, I'll give like an H&M take here and say now that I'm like fully invested in Tau, like I'm going to like Cerberus, I'm going to like Hydra. Like these are things that I find super fun. I do not want to pay for a 15K chocobo to go to Halvung to then walk for 20 minutes to get to a place that Cerberus might spawn. So like
Yeah.
I'll pay 500 IS to teleport out there. I'll do it. That's fine. It drives me nuts. I will say, just to finish my thought, I will say the last part of this sandwich, I like the idea of mirrors respawning. I like there being some friction, and I love the fact that there's a reward. I like that you can do it with a smaller group of people. All
Also
of those
true,
things,
yeah.
grade A. I'm a big fan of that. Especially if we're not going to it doesn't look like we're going to get besieged right now. That's fine. This is a good supplement for that. Having the staging point locked out, it kills me, man. It does.
When I heard it respawn, I was like, that's something for the H&M crew to be able to
Yeah.
fucking do. That's not my job.
So yeah, you mentioned running out to Cerberus and Hydra and Chimera. So I think something people are going to want to know about is the new H&Ms. What have they been spawning, anything like that? And there's not a terrible much to talk about, but they have been. They was it later on though? They waited like a week.
Yeah, I think they were spawning day 1, but it was an error.
Correct.
Because I think people were running out to like Mount Zael when they found Cerberus and the H&Ms. And I don't quote me. This is all like secondhand information from me from my LS because I was again not in the Tau areas. But I believe they were spawning. That was an error. They removed them, and then basically I have a memory of it being stated that they would reappear after the next scheduled like Friday maintenance, which I'm pretty sure is exactly what happened.
That all rings a bell, but I'm not totally sure.
Same.
Yeah, because it was the first Friday maintenance, the first Tau Friday maintenance that the Tau H&M started spawning, I believe.
Gotcha. That sounds about right. And so I know I haven't gotten to fight anything yet. There's some discrepancy as to what their time windows are and stuff like that. But I know our H&MLS, I'm not even sure we've really talked about this, but you and I have been in the same demo, the same H&MLS since very, very early in the server. Did down Hydra the other day. So
I was there.
Do you want to talk about that fight? Because you're the only basis we have right now for anything H&M related.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, I will preface it all with saying like Hydra was not a big experience of mine in Era because there was zero reason to kill Hydra. And I'm not sure what parts of that fight were Era plus. I think some of the TP moves that are supposed to happen when the heads are down now happens all the time, just less frequently. I don't know. What I will say is I have a strong memory of it being an awful thing to fight. But we did manage to claim it, and I actually had a blast doing that fight. So for people who are unfamiliar, the way Hydra works is it is this very large mob with 3 different heads, and when you score a critical hit on it, you have a chance to remove one of the heads. You can remove both heads, basically. When you remove both heads, it becomes vulnerable.
2 out of the 3 heads.
2 of the 3 heads. There's always 1 head remaining.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-phase fight. there's a phase where you try to fish for critical hits and remove the heads, and then it transitions into a fight where its defenses go down. It starts spamming TP moves, and you're basically just trying to pump damage on this thing. Um, I will say I got to run Corsair for it. It was very fun because Corsair has Rogue's Roll, which increases the critical hit chance of party members. So I basically got to slot in parties, do critical hit rolls. It is a fight where you have to have a stun order, and really, I believe we raged it on the first time, got reclaim, and then we're able to kill it. And the second time we killed it, we had the strategy down pat, and in that fight, it just sung.
That's sick.
Everything was working in tandem. We were doing party swaps as needed. I believe we were doing like a melee party to get the heads down. Then we would remove the melee party to put in a ranger party because they could damage from outside of the TP
Without getting
area.
hit by the TP moves. Yeah.
And it just made sense. It was one of those fights where you're like, it almost felt like an HENM fight where you could feel the mechanics of that fight, and you're like, once you have the strategy down pat, it feels like this is how this functions. So I don't know how I don't know why I feel the way I felt in Era about that fight, and I have only done it once on Horizon, but it felt great. And and from the perspective of Corsair, I was always busy. I had things to do. Really enjoyed it. So we managed to kill it. We didn't see any Era plus drops, but we got the standard Hydra slew of things.
So that's
it was great.
That's the only thing I want to touch on because people are going to be thinking about drops. They're going to be asking about drops. As far as I know, there's been no Era Plus drops from either of any of the three, Chimera, Hydra, or Cerberus. But they are being camped, and the H&M LSs are on it. We're trying to figure out what those spawn windows are. That's the kind of gist of what the H&M scene is looking like in ToAU.
For the people who are familiar with the drops, I do not believe we've seen an Algol off Cerberus.
Yeah, I was told there's been an Algol. And it's not been changed.
Okay. And Hauteclaire we have seen that hasn't been changed either.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I believe Knight has a Hauteclaire now.
Okay.
And it looks standard, which makes sense because that thing is cracked. So
it is what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to loop around because we kind of ran with like what I was doing this first few days and ran off on some tangents. I do want to loop around to UDA. So you had your first 48 hours was docking, and then you played the expansion. Expansion. So kind of like, what was your early time with it? Like before we moved into
I immediately got to the JP Midnight that I needed to get to. Just had to get to that, and then next day immediately go ahead and get to the next one to be able to start pushing through. Push the missions as hard as possible. As soon as I got tags, I started popping those off as well. I previously tested them on Phoenix, so I knew exactly how they functioned and where to go. So I had familiarity with it doing them recently. So they felt really nice. Being able to just progress. I was like, let me just pick a job to be able to kind of go at, and I decided to start rocking blue. And I mentioned the blue / bar to be able to evade heal a party, but I got about, I'd say, level 40 on blue, and there's this guy named Soda Pop in my link shell, and Soda Pop hasn't said an actual word in headset over the past 3.5 years we've been playing together, but Soda Pop loves Blue Mage more than his own mother. And he's been nonstop talking. He's the guy that saved all his Dynamis currency for the past 3.5 years, hoping that they would add blue to one of the existing relics, and they kept confirming that wasn't going to happen. I think I brought that up previously. That's Soda Pop. So he has gotten on blue, and he is like, this is my baby. I'm going to be the first 75 in our link show because I want to be able to be the primary lot on all the relic and AF when it drops, a month after release kind of deal. And when I got to 40, I think I was 41, and I was like, well, I wonder where Soda's at. And he said it was 62. And I was like, I'm going to be an asshole, and I'm going to race him to 75. So he is now 68, and I am 64.
And you're spending time recording a podcast? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you got things to do.
Yeah. So I'm
surprised we don't see you on the computer while you're talking.
No, I'm respectful to the podcast. I try to be here in the moment. Question's face. No, but I'm racing Soda Pop. I tried to keep it a secret in the link shell until I think last night we ran Dynamis, and somebody posted a GIF of I think it's the GIF that changes color, and it's the monster from Monsters Inc., the furry one, the big blue and green one, the main monster in Monsters Inc., not
Sully.
the eyeball. Sully, yeah. It
Come
showed
on.
Sully like looking over his shoulder, like all stressing, and somebody said that's Soda when he sees DA coming behind him. And then I got the GIF of what is it from Zoolander when he's in the mines wearing the blue hat and the blue pants, and he's like walking like through the mines like that. And I was like, that's me. I'm coming for you, baby. So Soda again
That's
hasn't said a
fantastic,
word.
actually.
Dude, I'll send you this. It's perfect. So I am pushing right now. Soda's leveling. I looked right before starting this podcast, and I am planning. That's why I popped open another Mountain Dew Code Red, and I got a monster sitting in the fridge. After we get done here, I'm going all night, baby. I'm trying to even out on him. Last I saw I say 68, but I think he had 69 right before we started. So I
Nice.
got to push. Yeah, thank you.
So
but I've been learning spells like all the way up to 40. When I said I started at 41, since I was doing it passively, I was learning spells in order during that process. I have probably 55 spells already. I've got a checklist. This checklist is phenomenal. Shout out to Swishy, by the way, who actually made this thing, or I got the link
Nice.
from it. I got all the way to, I got 30 spells in order, and then I started popping off from there, different ones that were like prioritized. So I'm probably sitting at about 50 spells in general. I do want to bring up I need to give an apology. I need to give an apology to the people that were in Teleport or Promi Mia. I went to the second floor of Promi Mia, and I was like, tomorrow morning, there's usually a party here. They're trying to get the Craver move. I forgot what the fucking Craver move is, but they're trying to get the Craver move. There's usually an alliance. And I was like, I'm going to log out. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to log in. I'm going to join the alliance. Went perfectly to plan. Logged in. There's an alliance right there. Floor 2. Joined the alliance. I was like, hey, you doing the Craver? They're like, yeah, man, come on, join in. I was like, all right, I'm going to go pull one. I went and pulled the NM. I wiped the alliance. I logged out and went back to bed.
Cool.
Yeah. So I want to apologize to the people that were up there that I killed in Promi Mia for doing that, because I just saw a long-legged son of a bitch. I pulled him, and then somebody goes in chat, "Is that the NM?" And I looked and saw the name. I was like, "Shit!" And people just started dying left and right, bro. I felt horrible about it.
I can interject because I also wiped a group of people in the past week. We did, and this is actually a warning to all of chat until at the latest next Friday. If you're going to do escorting Professor Chanois, the tier 3 assault, be aware. It is not, saying it's not easy is an understatement. You need to understand what's going on. So this is what we did, okay? If you read the wiki entry for escorting Professor Chanois, there's an NPC. He's kind of uppity. He just like moves around, and you got to like heal him and defend him from ads and stuff like that. And then he gets to the end, and you win. It's not the one where you have to like a guide. The NPC just goes, and you have to defend him.
Yeah.
The wiki says, he won't start moving until you get to him, stuff like that. So we got in the zone, and we put up we had 5 relics. There was a Mandau, there was like a Claustrum, there was like a Gungnir. I mean, we're one of the earliest groups. See, these are the tryhards that got that far that fast. DA shaking his head.
Fucking playing on easy mode. Jesus Christ. Relic
Great.
only to join Quetch's party. Oh.
Awesome. All right, so here we are in Professor Chanois with 5 relics, some of which I just rattled off. And we're like, okay, this is going to be, we just got to make sure we kill everything and heal the guy, right? Everybody's like, yeah, we're on board. So, speaking of which, it was like Clive was in there, Volup was in there, both people that I knew from Gather Together Chicago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to you guys because you know how this story goes. So we put up I put up 1 haste. I put up stone skin, and then we're just like, all right, let's get moving and let's figure this out. So we start moving. Professor Chanois had not only started moving from the moment we didn't fully buff. We put up 1 to 2 buffs and then started moving. Professor Chanois had already been moving, had already aggroed. He had 5 skeletons on him. by the time we got to the first intersection. I, in a moment of panic, decide to cast Diaga. I'm like, let me just round up all these skeletons. While the bard
The
casts,
classic solve everything spell.
Yeah.
you know what? Nobody's ever cast Diaga
that-
and felt bad about it.
With that many skeletons on him, he was already boned.
I thought so. So, see,
Keep going.
the bard had a better idea. Horde Lullaby. Guess what? Guess what doesn't sleep when it's Dia?
Yeah, you fucked him.
Bunch of fucking skeletons. All right.
Nothing.
Yeah, well,
Historically.
So here's my thoughts, though. We're all relics. We're all just going to pull a mob each and start fighting them and get them off of this guy. Well, we kind of did that. He kept moving. He kept aggroing more skeletons. We are now pulling blood aggro. We're like 7 to 8 skeletons deep at the first intersection, mind you, in this assault. But all these skeletons are all HP sponges. They're not even like they're like probably T as far as like health, and the damage seemed about that much as well. So we're now fighting like 5 to 7 T skeletons as this like all relic group in the first minute of the assault. And then we start getting through them. We have like 2 skeletons left. The NPC just dies, and we fail. So maybe at most 3 minutes. And the Horde Lullaby probably could have done the trick. The Diaga definitely didn't help.
Yeah, that's not a good panic button you have there, buddy.
No.
I thought round up the skeletons, fight the red mage. I'm a red mage with phalanx and stone skin and the shadows.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a little bit of a redeeming factor here. I did end up redoing that assault like 2 or 3 days later. And when I joined this group that was shouting for it, I was like, guys, I need you to listen to me. This is important information. This is not an easy assault. I said the moment we get into that room, we immediately run and we start fighting any skeleton we see, hands down, full stop. And we still felt very tense. We were killing the skeletons just in time to keep the next aggro. And this was like 3 relics, 3 or 4. We were keeping the skeletons off of this guy one at a time, just barely before it was becoming dangerous. And so if you guys go to do it before Friday, I just recommend to you, listen, immediately bolt, have a bard in your party, start killing ASAP, like bring monks or whatever you got to do. It is not an easy assault. And there's actually verification in the bugs channel that this will be fixed likely come Friday. So heads up out there. This has been reported. I think it was... I forget who replied, but one of the devs replied saying they're going to be fixing this. Anyway, I too.
I don't know about you, but I don't think plebeians like us without relics could even do it.
I mean,
why would we try?
Dia's got a destroyer's monk. He'll be fine.
We're not real people, you know. Speaking of monk and things that they're fixing, I do want to bring up that. Thank you for the fix of the monk regen. Not overriding region 2 and region 3 anymore from a white mage. Shout out to Horizon for fixing that, because you would sit there, they would merit putting regen on, what is it, chakra? So you would hit them with a region 3, they would chakra your region off, put a region 1 that lasts like 18 seconds on them. Apparently the region 1 it still overwrites. But 2 and 3 it sounds like it was fixed. So I do want to give that as a shout out for them fixing or repairing that, because Lord knows if they didn't and that was a normal should be situation, I was never going to regen a monk again.
Is this a good time to talk about merits? Do we wanna...
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Let me actually say, I'm going to throw one thing to Druin, because we kind of shunted it early on in the recording here. Your general thoughts on core, and then maybe start with core merits, and then we'll jump into the rest of the jobs, because you were saying you love the way core feels. I think that's sort of lingering still for the listener who wants to know about that.
I mean, you want to talk about the ToAU jobs kind of in general. I don't have a lot of insight into like end game pup, but I've been doing a ton with 75 blue as well.
What do you think about that, DA?
Like Era Plus changes is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
my original plan was to get just straight merits for the first month, and I said fuck that when I saw soda pop leveling. So personally, I haven't gotten any tier 2 merits just yet. I've been just leveling. So I do have some.
You have some notes on them
obviously,
though, right?
I have some. I just have simple comments on a few merits that were. Yeah, go ahead, Druid. Start off.
Let's start with some Era Plus changes to jobs specifically, and then we'll move into merits.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good time to move into that.
Yeah, because Warrior we should talk about also.
I agree.
So, I mean, before diving into merits, I will say, touching base on like the jobs and some of the like the Era Plus changes, right? I did mention earlier, core feels great to play. So some of the things that we found in leveling like the new ToAU jobs is like the dev team has Era Plus like a big portion of a lot of their kits. Like Corsair specifically has like a number of changes that just make that job way more interesting. So Quick Draw specifically has had probably the most changes overall, right? Quick Draw now in Era, it did not provide TP when you shot it. You had 1 charge of Quick Draw per minute, and its base damage was very low. All 3 of those things have been completely changed for the most part, right? So Core now can store 2 charges of Quick Draw. You get 1 per minute. A shot now gives you TP when you use it.
That's huge.
And
if people don't understand how huge that is, it's gigantic.
Massive. And the base damage of it is way higher. So like when you unlock it at 40, you're starting off Quick Draws hitting for like 150 to 200 damage. Just off rip. And at level 40, that's a weapon skill. If
yeah,
not
or a skill chain
more.
damage, or some sort of damage that you would be getting in a party.
Yeah, and at 75, my quick draws, I mean, I'm a very geared Corsair, I would say. My quick draws are still hitting for 530 to 600 in that realm per shot. So really, really big changes there. The other really massive change to not just Corsair, but marksmanship in general, it just happens to affect Corsair because melee is such a core component, is currently the sweet spot range for all guns is melee range for most enemies. The model of the enemy kind of matters there. Like Mamul, you aren't really in sweet spot when you attack them, but for the majority of mobs in game, you can now fire sweet spot for your ranged attacks while being within striking range of these
melee hits
enemies. Right. So for Corsair specifically, now you can rock Joy Use Merc Chris, be able to melee and not feel like you have to like run out of range. So you can build your TP, because historically range shots are fine for Corsair. It's not great. Corsair is a quantity over quality job. You're not trying to hit very, very high damage slug shots. You're trying to fire off a lot of them. So because now you can incorporate melee into your build, it feels better to level. It feels better to play sort of an end game. You know, Corsair always kind of struggled in Era because it didn't have a place in like low man content, and leveling it felt kind of static and a little boring. Now, you know, even though their like end game H&M structure hasn't changed, they do roles, they sub like white mage, red mage, they heal, but now you can take Corsair into like assaults or like Limbus or different things like that, and your melee Corsair melee / range, like your Corsair in general feels like a damage support job. And I just can't speak highly enough about it.
It really takes inspiration from current retail. So that for those of you who have played retail in the past, I'm going to say 6+ years, the idea of Corsair sort of like meleeing into like leaden salutes, kind of like take that and just tone it down by like 90%, but it's the same idea. Of you can maintain sort of a melee and then blast your weapon skill and be sort of supportive damage, along with the quick draw changes that you mentioned, where if you need the extra bit of TP, you blast and then you weapon skill, or if you need to finish off a mob in, let's say, Dynamis, you blast a quick draw, and there's sort of this really dynamic gameplay of like risking your damage or risking your skills, and then like pulling back when you need to, and that sort of like dynamic play has just been, it's been fun watching you join us for whatever piece of content we're doing, and I think is overall a really cool interpretation of the job for an era core.
Yes. And I guess to touch on the elephant in the room with Corsair dice, not in the game. We received confirmation of that. So historically, Corsair has Corsair's role that they get when the job gets unlocked. It gives EXP bonus
It was
when
level
you roll
5.
it.
Yeah,
What's
you could
that?
use it to level.
At
You
level
could
5.
use it to level 5, but you got it when you unlocked it. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a point that I wanted to bring up because it's the exact same boat as the Dark Knight spells, where people were hunting for all this shit for the past
were.
3 weeks or 2.5 weeks, and there was no confirmation or feedback because everyone was led to believe that all of this was in, but none of it was, and that is a huge misplay.
I want to add some context. So since the servers dropped, people have been searching for Era Plus, whether it be spells for Red Mage, because we're going to get into the merit category 2s, where we have Paralyzed 2 as a scroll, we have Phalanx 2 as a scroll here on Horizon, but you can also merit Phalanx 2 to be further more powerful. So that led people to go, where is Corsair's die? Because it's not on the NPCs. It's not, nobody's put one in the auction house. Are there dark spells? Because people were kind of thinking we might be getting Dread Spikes or Absorb TP. So those are the big touch points. A lot of people have been searching for more Era Plus stuff. And then there was a big post like, what was today? It was like yesterday, right?
It was like yesterday, yeah.
Where it was said like, hey, Corsair's role's not in the game yet. We're still thinking about what we want to do with it. Dark Knights will get more love, patch 2.1, etc. That's the framing, DA. So go ahead and
No, that's great framing on there. But Dark Knights not having their spells and their Group 2 merits. Honestly, I talked to 3 different Dark Knights before we started. They said make sure you emphasize that the Group 2 merits fucking blow. Please add somebody as a Dark Knight on your team to understand why they do. So there's not there is a representative on that team for Warrior. I can tell you that. There's not one for a Dark Knight. And Dark Knights are not happy about that. That's why I was surprised that Dark Knight doesn't have a slow mode in their channel, but Puppet Master does, which we'll dive into at some point. But no spells, and their Group 2 merits are just gobble.
Yes. I mean, I guess to continue, at least on my side, because like the Corsair dice has been kind of integral to my last since launch, almost, or since hitting 75. I will say the Corsair's dice have now been moved up a level for the most part for most of the roles. So you get your kit earlier, which does feel better for early leveling. Not a huge change, but relevant to some degree. I will say the Corsair dice thing hit me. So to address the post basically said, at least on the Corsair die level, the dice isn't in the game. The dev team is working on changing Corsair dice to be not EXP and something else, like a different effect. And basically confirming that like the core that are looking for it can just stop. A few things on it, I guess. First of all, I just to give my opinion out there.
Your investment.
Well, before I get to like it not being in the game, I'll say like as a Corsair, like someone who enjoys playing the job on a very deep level, I'm comfortable with Corsair die not being on Horizon, like the EXP version of it.
The level 5 gives EXP bonus.
Yes. Because if it was, every Corsair while leveling would have one role slot dedicated to giving the entire party EXP. We are already on Wings of the Goddess EXP tables. We already level very quickly on this server. As a Corsair, I like the dynamic aspect of I have to decide what roles benefit this active party right in this moment. And I get to not waste a full slot of what my job is designed to do on something that like everybody will just blanket want. all the time.
Yeah,
no matter
yeah,
what.
because that's the whole point of doing a party in the first place, to get more experience points. You're not out there to jerk off extra accuracy. You're out there to
I
jerk off
enjoy
more
EXPing
XP.
though, DA. I
I do
like
too.
the aspect
Look,
of it.
have you fucking met me?
I know. That's why I find your
I'm
take
just letting you know.
interesting.
People don't party to party; they party to
Sure.
get XP. So that's why it's very hurtful for a lot of people not to be able to have that as an option. I do understand that it feels fine
Yes.
without it, and I do agree with that. But justifying it, saying we get another accuracy roll instead of it, isn't a justification.
Well, I think
it just feels fine without it.
Druin's justification is that he now has more player agency as a player.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
He gets to make
and-
choices
and-
that matter.
Agreed.
And I do
but
not mean
saying,
to diminish.
Okay, yeah,
I don't mean
okay.
to diminish people's like feelings on it because I get it,
Right.
especially
Okay.
people who aren't actively playing Corsair.
Yeah,
like
we're
I get
on the
it,
same page. Yeah, we're on the same page.
100%. I just want to say, as a Corsair, someone who likes the job, and I've talked to a lot of other Corsairs. There's a lot of people who are very comfortable with the change. That doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of people. It goes back to the idea of expectation, right? I think if they would have said Corsair role EXP buff will not exist in ToAU way long ago, this would be way less of an issue.
Oh,
or at
100%.
least people would have had time to sit on it.
People
as
have time.
opposed to-
People have more time to complain about it. Would be my opinion.
I think people would have had more time to come to grips with it because it was jarring turning the quest in and getting ninja dice.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
I was like the second person to unlock that job, maybe third. And like, it was just question marks constantly over what is this? But to address the post itself, from the moment I hit 75 through that post, a huge bulk of my time has been looking for that goddamn dice. I have spent 40 runic teleports of my free 60. I have spent so much time running around Arapago Reef, a zone that I vehemently despise, looking for question marks.
Okay,
Or anything.
I'm going to interject here. I'm going to add more
Okay.
context.
Yeah, I'm glad you're playing and finding out.
Speaking of playing and finding out, the Bards did so. Part of what has been fueling sort of this search is there is a point in, I want to say, Wajawam?
Kaderva Meyer,
Kaderva Meyer?
near the Jazaret headstone.
There you go.
Right, the Era Plus quest?
Yes. That if a bard talks to, it'll say something along the lines of something about a song from the goddess or something like that. If you play Goddess Hymnus, you then flag a BCNM at the Ashut cutter. No?
Talaka Cove Rock Slab.
Talaka Cove Rock Slab, and that is a solo bard endeavor. If you defeat that quest, if you defeat that fight, you unlock the
Servente.
Fos Servente, which is a song that reduces enmity loss on cumulative enmity loss. That was one of Bard's Cat 2 merits in Era, which was later in retail changed to, there was Fos Servente and Adventurer's Dirge, which were changed to scrolls, and then you would just do, or just unlock naturally. I forget, I think it's scrolls. Either way, Cone Anima and Cone Brio, which are, reduce damage while singing. So Nightingale, Troubadour, Cone Anima, and Cone Brio are Bard's 4 Cat 2 merits currently, and then if you find this particular question mark, you sing this song, you flag this quest, you can get Adventurer's Dirge or Fos Servente, and then there's a follow-up quest that gives you Adventurer's Dirge. And so there is some amount of job-specific quests out there. The only one I'm aware of is this Bard quest, but it fueled some of the other jobs. I'm going to just say Thief, we'll touch on that later. We got other stuff to talk about right now. Having their Cat 2 merits change in a way that was like, why is this changed? Well, for Bard, it was like, oh, you're going to get the songs. And for Corsair, it's like, maybe this is Corsair's dice is hidden behind a question mark in a random zone, or Dark Knight is hidden behind a Dark Knight specific quest. And then we got this post saying these things will be added in a future patch, etc. So to pass that back, you have been searching, you've spent a lot of your own runic teleports.
Yes. I've spent a lot of time, a lot of rooting teleports, running around. I've been scouring like out of era missions for things involving the Seagull Piratry, which is like integral to the Corsair quest line, right? Just looking for like anything. Because I will say, to your point on the Bard thing, the Bard Era Plus quest, me and a buddy of mine, Nairu, who plays Bard in like content that I do with them, we found that organically. We had no clue that existed. I was helping them with the Jazzarat fight in the Tau missions. I clicked on like we both clicked on this headstone. He got like a bunch of dialogue he just thought was like in era for a quest, yada yada. I clicked on it. It gave me as a Corsair different dialogue. I said, "Hey Bard, come over here because this thing says something about a melody." And we worked it out. And we were like, "Oh, this rocks." We took him to the fight. He did the fight. He learned the spell, yada, yada. The rest is history. So, like,
As far as we know, you and Nairu are the two who discovered the Bard specific quest. He even posted it in the Bard channel.
I think there were people who had it before us. It just maybe wasn't
speculation. Yeah, correct.
That is speculation. It doesn't matter who found it. At the end of the day, it fueled my own personal desire to be like, I'm already looking for this thing. I really think that this is probably going to be in the game. So I guess all of this to say, I struggle with it because I understand it's like Pafo. They don't want to like say everything about what's around, etc. But part of me is like, I wish you would have just week 2, like week 1, give people time to like level and go click on things. Week 2, when the people who are hitting 75 hit 75, like I would have just said, "Hey, Corsair Dice isn't in the game. We're doing this thing, yada yada." I wouldn't be down 40 runic teleports. Sure. Or I would have been able to go put time into like other things. And I was not the only Corsair looking. A whole huge amount of us were all looking for this thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way, I guess. It's cool that they're changing the effect. I'm all for that. It's nice that we're getting told now as opposed to never. I think all of that is super fine. It's just it would have changed nothing. It would have maybe made it so I didn't go try to lose to the Corsair map fight like 4 times because it took me like 4 times to beat that fight. Thinking maybe we get the Corsair Dice if we beat Keltana. Anyway, that was my rant in that situation for the Corsair Dice. Like, I'm happy we know now. That's cool. I'm happy the Dark Knights can hopefully stop listening to Papa Roach and be like out of their mind. Like, at least we know, but it's just,
they got,
I don't know.
Dark Knights are not going to change their ways. They got double whammied with the Group 2 merits and the spells. They got shit on. They are the new samurais as of right now until we get 2.1. I got a question. Healer's role, by the way. Healer's role was Horizon updated.
So
please.
Used to be Cure Potency, which was whatever. Now is HMP. So resting MP, cool. You get more ticks back. Great change. Really fantastic.
Enjoy it.
Like,
yeah. I got in a fight with somebody who was like, "That's wrong." I was like, "It's HMP," and they were like, "No, it's not. It's Cure Potency." I was like, "Dude, okay, dude. Yeah, that's how I fight nowadays. When somebody is like, they won't like listen to reason. Okay, yeah, cool. Dark Knight. Please, come in the comment section and explain it to us. None of us are Dark Knight mains. I just hear this as a consensus about the Dark Knight Tier 2 merits. If you could break it down like a 5-year-old for me, because that's what I am, please kind of explain it to us.
Yeah,
so I think I know a little bit about this, though.
So Diaz put on his Linkin Park shirt, and we're here to support you guys.
Yeah, I literally put this on just because you're
crawling in our skin. We're crawling in our skin at this point.
Between the spells and the T2 merit disappointment, I had to put this shirt on. I feel you guys.
I will say I know I've listened to a Dark Knight a little bit about this, and I think specifically what they talked about to me was Dark Seal, in theory, would be good if Drain 2 existed. But because Drain 2 doesn't exist, where you can get like even more maximum HP for those uninitiated, like Drain 2 increases your max HP based on what you drain. Dark Seal is like one of those where it's like a kick in the gut. Like it looks great on paper, and then it's like I don't have the spell that it actually syncs with.
I see. All right. Well, okay. Anyway, we're jumping around a little bit here. We are sort of in the broad Cat 2 merit category. Druin, your experience with Corsair has been good. is what we've arrived at here, and the merits are
Merits
untouched.
unchanged merits for Corsair. They're era accurate.
Got it. Let's. What do you guys think? Should we talk about the blue changes before moving on to other jobs, merit twos? So this is tough because dear listener, we're in a space where there's a lot to talk about, and DA brought up some complaints that are kind of paired together, which is the core, the dark, and the pup stuff, which we haven't even gotten to. So let's move on to we'll talk about the blue stuff, then we'll move on to pup. And then we'll move on to the Cat 2 merits that people are excited about. The various miscellaneous Cat 2 merit stuff. So Blue has had some changes that, and I'll list the ones I know about that are pretty cool. They've had their spells changed to be, like some of the spells have been added that weren't in Era. And they've had a Pokemon Gotta Catch 'em All thing added where as you get more spells above a certain amount, you gain blue points, which would have been the assimilation from the Cat 2 merits. But instead, they're just given to you. If you collect 60 spells and then you collect 65 spells, you now have an additional blue point that you can add more blue spells. DA, I'd assume you're already experiencing that because you're a blue spell collector.
I'm close because Soda Pop is pushed me to leveling and getting experience more so than spells.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is when my flag is up, I'm hunting spells. When I get a party, I go XP. When I'm out of the party, I go back to hunting spells. I literally got Digest right before we hopped on, and I was working on Sickle Slash down in Coraloco Tunnel, I believe. So that. Yeah, I really like that being added because that's a little bit of flavor. That's not a change of the job. It's just a little bit of oomph, and I think that's pretty fucking cool. Especially that was nice to discover. It seems like I don't know if there's anybody on the server.
Free merit.
Free
merit.
I don't know if there's anybody on
blue.
the server that has every single spell yet. If there is, that would be a wonderful achievement.
I think one person or they're one spell off. The
Okay.
server, the server first 75 blue specifically.
Good. That's the
I
first thing I would do.
Last I heard, they were at 105 out of the known 106.
Oh, it is 106. Okay.
And who knows if there's a one or two that we don't know about as well, which that's cool to be able to go hunt and discover.
Yep.
100%.
So I love that. I hope there is a server message when all have been discovered. I think that's something that would be noticeable. Go ahead with the other. You said you had some cool.
No, there's just a couple little things. Like for example, I learned today that one of the spells, when you put it on, it gives you a killer trait for one of the killer traits. So previously in Blue Mage's past, both current and retail past, you would need at least 2 of a spell to add any of the killer traits.
8 points worth.
There you go. So there's one spell. I think it might have been Plantoid that gives Plantoid Killer or something to that effect. Jimmy was talking about it in the Blue Channel earlier, and he was saying that it's an experiment. They're testing it because they felt like if you could just give that killer trait with one spell across the board, it would be too powerful. And that to me is a fascinating thing. That speaks to me of somebody who's really spent their time really thinking about what a 75 era blue should have access to, and I don't know enough to say whether that's true, but it sounds true.
For instance, like Frost Breath gives you 8 points of conserve MP. So just having Frost Breath in your lineup immediately gives you.
Yes.
Also, Magic Burst bonus. It comes from Rail Cannon on Gears. I don't know if that's actually in the game or not.
Probably
but those
not. We
two
don't
I
have
see.
Gears yet.
Only we have Gears yet. Yeah.
So I see those two right off the bat from the list that I'm actually working on here.
I will say Jameas, who is in charge of the blue rework, has been very active in the blue Discord, and he has been awesome about.
He's been shout outs to him.
Awesome, dude.
Numerically, thought process, the whole process of doing everything.
It's been so cool.
Nothing but compliments to him. I thought he did an amazing job. The changes that were made that he didn't have a say in and he didn't find out till later, that's what I'm disappointed by. Like the spell learning rate.
Oh, the spell
going down from 20% to 5. He didn't have a 10. Yeah. So cut in half. So that is
the base
rate.
Base rate.
Yeah, the base rate before the gloves. So it was 20, 25 on retail.
Base rate before other factors. We don't know what those other factors are.
Right. So it was basically cut in half. And people have noticed that. You feel it. Being a new blue,
I don't.
Oh, that's right. You can't because all the first level spells that you're learning right now. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say my experience learning blue magic spells on retail, as far as like a couple of years, maybe like a handful of years ago, was not easy. So when people say there's a 20% learn rate, I just call straight bullshit. Like if current retail has, because plus the gloves would be like 35% learn rate. I have VODs of me taking multiple hours to learn Magic Hammer is the one I keep bringing up. I took like 3 hours to learn Magic Hammer from Pirogos. So I just want to give a little pushback to UDA where to bringing this up, where retail has this magical 35% blue spell learn rate that Horizon has nerfed. Was not my experience.
Okay, let me put it this way. It's confirmed that it was nerfed, regardless of what number to what number, right?
I will say it's confirmed that the 20% was cut to 10%, but we also don't know if there are era plus factors at play that bring that up based on certain circumstances.
Right.
How would we know that? Who knows? But I mean, I even think that post even alludes to the idea that there might be other ways to increase the percentage.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's
know
nothing
what they
bad
are.
about being able to raise that number up, but it is.
But it's more than
brought
just the
down.
hands, is what the illusion was too.
Right.
Yes.
And I bet hopefully if it's just the hands, the fuck kind of reply was that if it was just the hands? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Agreed.
We're assuming it's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
learning rate-
DA, I want to point out this comes from a place of having streamed this for the past 2 weeks. You know, I streamed like 7 days straight, and then I streamed a couple more this week. Is like I have a lot of people coming in, and a lot of people saying there's two sides of. There's actually like 3 sides of this camp that I've experienced as a streamer. I've had people say, I've spent 5 hours learning such and such a move, and I feel for those people. Like, that sucks. I've had people say, oh no, this reminds me exactly of what I experienced in retail. And then I've had a third camp of people saying, like, Horizon is just feeding blue spells to these babies who don't know how to grind in an RPG.
Yeah, and I mean all the opinions people have on the internet are valid, right?
Yeah, I'm just telling you what I've experienced.
Stupid.
I'm not hit the ladder on that statement.
Yeah,
I mean,
stupid motherfucker. Whoever said that is a dumb son of a bitch. What I'm telling you right now is that every person I've talked to said Healing Breeze, they went like 1 in 30, 1 in 60. I've known people out there for 5 hours.
I went 1 in 37. I did it yesterday.
But what I'm saying also, I've met 2 people that one said he went 1 in 5, and another one went 1 in 2. That's RNG, baby. But what I'm saying is, it is not better than what it was on retail.
Not better, no, yeah.
So you can even say it's even, but it all depends on your level, your skill level. If you're wearing the gloves, there's so many factors to be able to put in. But generally, it is a lower rate. It's not detrimentally lower, but if you go to Promi Vassal and you sit there for 5 hours pulling every one of the Weepers and the Cravers and all that kind of stuff, and you get 1 out of the 6 spells your alliance is pulling, you feel that fucking number being down.
Sure.
You can go 1 for 1. I've been 1 for 2 on a lot of them, but I've also have 40. I remember like 3 of them I went 1 for 2, 1 for 3, but most of them are at about 10, 15, which isn't that bad, but that does sit around that 10%.
Yeah, 10 or 15.
I will say is it my experience is really only up to like I think I hit 25 just recently, and I've gotten every spell through 25 except maybe Blast Bomb.
Before they made the change of upping the beginner spells, or after the change they made of upping the beginner spells? Because they said it felt really bad for blue mages to go to the dunes and not be able to have a spell, so they raised the rate of learning those.
They just brought it back up to 20%.
Yeah, a lot of people were going to the dunes like, fuck this, I might as well just swing some fucking swords, you know?
Yeah.
So
I did my first 2 spells pre, and I did my other 3 spells post, and it's so anecdotal because but they were a little bit faster the spells post, obviously because there's a straight up raised.
It's not like, oh, this is fucking garbage, but you feel it. Yeah, I mean I have 50 spells, so I feel it.
It's not necessarily on the topic of spells, but we can talk about the Killage sword change.
Yes.
And actually, just to throw it back to Corsair for like 2 seconds, the AF weapon is the Immortal Scimitar is a Killage.
I have it, yeah.
But just real quick, hexagons for Corsair that are in the game now have a stat called quick draw effect plus. We don't know exactly what it does, but the current line of thought is that it boosts the enfeeble that you enhance when you use the associated element. So like if something has paralyzed on it and you use ice shot, that paralyzed becomes a higher potency. So the line of thought is that hexagons make that interaction stronger. But back to blue swords, the Killages now each have 2 stats on each of the swords that scale up as you level and get a better sword, which is magic attack bonus and magic accuracy.
Yep.
Compliments to the weapon changes they made for both core and blue. They both are nice.
Well, the hexagon change is great. I have an issue with the Killages. And specifically, it's that even if you're dual wielding Killages, it's still worse than an HQ elemental staff. That's my concern. And Mac and Mab, I do not believe affect physical blue spells. So, like, I don't know. Part of me feels like it's not enough.
I just bludgeon, headbutt, and swing my swords, bro. That's all I do.
Your Killages are doing nothing for her. That's my point.
I wonder if there's something. I wonder if there's something we're missing here. Yeah.
Yep.
That's an
if
interesting.
If they had 0 bonus stats, I'd still get the damage from it. That's why I'm swinging. I don't care.
And they look sweet.
They do look sweet. I will say it's infinitely better than it was before, and Killages are still very good, at least up until HQ stabs. But again, who knows exactly what Killages are in the game? We haven't necessarily seen them all.
Right.
But just based on what we've seen on the auction house, the best ones, even if you're dual wielding, 2 of those don't equate to the affinity stat you gain from HQ staves.
But you're not swapping and losing TP. So I wonder, as more 75 blues enter the economy and start to do content, I wonder how that'll work out. I wonder how that'll pan out. Because I know on modern retail, for example, blues are equipping 2 weapons, like Nibiru Cudgel or Colada, in order to do their nukes. They're not using staves, even with the lack of affinity on the weapons I mentioned. So I wonder where that line is, and I wonder if we cross it at some point. It's at least an interesting space compared to a non-space.
It could be specific blue builds too. I mean, I will say, the breadth of blue builds that we currently have in Horizon versus what we had in retail, way larger. Especially when we have stuff like Air Plus spells like Winds of Promethean. And I believe Occultation is out of era. Disseverment? Also out of era, maybe? Regardless, the out of era spells add so much to those kits that blue feels like it can do so much more stuff. So
cool. I'm gonna lob the grenade at you guys of Puppet Master. Go.
Ooh, quickly. I am 5 for 5 on AF.
Oh, you are? Yes, that's true.
I have full AF. So 5 for 5.
He's running around like a blue mage homie.
I'm wearing the Sunbreeze Komodo, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Blue one. I'm wearing that as my body. I still rock the...
That's wrong. Subjectively wrong.
I'm aware, but it is blue, and I'm wearing my gold glasses from bone crafting, and I got the rest of the blue gear on. It actually looks pretty sick.
All right, I'm putting a screenshot of this fit on the screen right now for the YouTube viewers.
Yeah. Puppet Master, Slapstick, the first weapon skill you get on Puppet Master is the best weapon skill.
It's so strong.
Period. Period. They rock it from the very beginning to the very end. That's all they need. I don't know if they're planning on nerfing or buffing the others up, but it claps some fucking cheeks. People were like level 17 hitting for 215. 17 for 215. They were clapping. Puppet Masters are phenomenal. Top of DPS charts, regardless of if they know how to play the job or not correctly.
Who needs to know? The puppet does all the work.
Yeah, the puppet's the actual job.
Yeah,
like
I
play
found
the
out
character.
right before this recording, somebody's like, I don't know why my pup does Region 1 and Region 2 on a random basis. I was like, Region 2 is on a cooldown. And he's like, let me test this. He did Region 2, and then he did Region again, and it did Region 1. I was like, there it is. It's the exact same kind of thought process with the light elementals, where if you have a pro and shell, regardless of the standard of it, it won't give you a pro and shell of a better quality on top of you. It'll give you a haste or a regen. If you have haste or regen, you can force a pro or shell. So you can actually force your light elemental to do specific things. It's kind of the same thing with the pup. But pups are good right now. They are clapping. They are top DPS across the board. Whether
really strong.
Yeah, and if
Hmm.
you know what you're doing, there's nobody touching you. I went into a
And
party with my solid blue, and I got put in my fucking place. I didn't hold hate at all, and I was spamming shit with mauve water and everything on me. I couldn't get hate at
yep.
all. His pup was clapping. He got so mad that he was like, this feather tickle keeps taking the TP of my thing." I was like, "I can't do shit about it, dude. He's dealing the damage." So I mean, pups are great right now. Maybe not in the bank account side of things, but they are doing phenomenal.
Well, before we all get sad about our guilt amount in terms of Puppet Master, I will say the other big change that they had is their maneuvers are not resetting like their auto attack cooldowns and stuff
Yeah,
like
off
that.
global cooldown.
It's off global. So, I mean, I haven't played Pup personally, but leveling with one, I talked with Kuro quite a bit about it. Apparently, it just feels really good to just be able to tell your pet what to do without it interfering with the flow state of your actual character. So, I think that's really cool. I think that it seems like such a
Yeah.
small change, but I think it's massive, actually.
It is, yeah. I mean, as a thief, I really feel the effect of JA spam on your overall play style, and would appreciate some of that on the thief side of things as well, where it's like I'm losing a second with every SA and every TA, but I'm gaining DPS, right? But and then I have my bullies, and then I have, now my feint, now my steal, now these kind of things. As these JAs build up, I am constantly losing DPS uptime to all the other jobs, and that pup would have felt even it would have just been would have been worse. It's literally like, I think 1 minute is your length on your
Maneuver?
maneuver. Is it 1 minute?
Maybe.
I think it's 1 minute. So every minute you're having to use 3 maneuvers, something like that. Anyway, I haven't gotten to play it yet. I'm looking forward to trying the job once everything's kind of come down in price. But yeah, pup looking real good. Pup looking real good.
Go ahead, talk about it. We brought it up.
Yeah, we got to address the pup elephant now.
Yeah.
Yep, 10x.
Uh,
That is not new player friendly when you have to drop 500K just to be able to start the fucking job. And if you bought all the attachments, it's 1.2 million. They 10x that shit off the NPC.
Well,
off the NPC.
Two things. It doesn't necessarily have to be new player friendly. I just want to. That's my opinion. I'm willing to be pushed against that if you want. But the other thing is, those are era prices. You're going off era prices.
They're 10x from what it was. Yes, they've been 10x'd.
How did the classic wiki state that for the prices?
Dude, remember, the only channel that is slow mode right now is Puppet Master. I've been in that channel.
Yeah.
They're starting shit.
Yeah, you know what? There's a million nerds in that channel that know way more about this job than I probably ever will.
Sure.
So,
but yeah, I agree. It doesn't have to be new player friendly, but if you are if you're a broke ass bitch and you want to join Horizon and get to level 30 and then go start Pup, you need 500K as almost a starter on there. And it is not consumer friendly when it comes to cost. It was already the most expensive job before when you started it, regardless. But now it's fucking horrible on there. You have to have the bank account to be able to support that job.
Yeah.
Not including the shit you get at craft or get off the auction house.
Well, yeah, that's its own.
We'll dive into that in a second about those.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna devil's advocate this a little bit, and I will say I agree with you. I think I feel like that's
agree with me. I'm not a puppet master. I'm just
the prices are wild. Like, I don't think levels 1 to 30 for a job should be quite that expensive. But here's where I'll devil advocate it a little bit. Pup does not change out their gear as much as other jobs while leveling. Their gear are attachments. So if you're buying attachments, which in theory should be evergreen or at least used more than gear will be, you're paying more of an upfront cost to have like your kit, I guess, or your pup's gear, or however you want to think about it, and versus changing your gear out every so many levels. Does that make it better? Like, do you see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Their gear lasts a lot longer than your gear does because they can rock it all the way up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but there's higher tiers of everything, and those are just the starting NPC ones. Nothing including the 3 mobs that we need to talk about here in a second.
There are mobs?
Okay. There are 3 mobs that drop about 15 fucking pup attachments, and they are so camped right now that nobody else can get these attachments. They need a claim shield or to disperse the attachments. In fact, hold on.
Armor plate 2, I think.
There's
is
only
is one
3
of
in the
the
entire
big
game.
ones.
I'm gonna put
Oh,
it
this is
in our
interesting.
actual chat right now, like the
Yeah,
chat.
DA
I'm gonna check it on my phone.
These
There
are
you
the
go.
pup pets, right? From the trolls?
Yes, it is from the Hill Troll Puppet Master.
Okay.
We're looking at
So I was not aware of
literally
any of this. So
Accelerator 2, Analyzer, Auto Repair Kit 2, Flashbulb, Heat Seeker, Sink, Loudspeaker 2, Mana Converter, Mana Jammer 2, Mana Tank 2, Pattern Reader, Scanner, Stabilizer 2, Strobe, Tension Spring 2. Those are the things that drop off them. There's only 3 spawns in the entire fucking game, and they are being murked because you can't get those anywhere else in the game.
I
It needs
see.
to either have a claim shield where people
I
have
was
an
unaware of this.
opportunity, or it needs to be dispersed to other locations where these can be acquired, because this has been 2.5 weeks of those motherfuckers being on lockdown more than any H&M camp has been in the past 3 years.
Honestly, put some of those in ISNMs, man.
100%.
And
Yeah.
and you
Spread it
just
out.
solved so much of that issue. Like, and
Add
I
10
will
more spawns of them in other locations. If you
yeah,
didn't
to
want to
push
do
back
that.
on the thing I just said, like a lot of these are your upgrades for the intro
originals.
level things that you buy.
Correct.
And in
So
some cases, you
500K
run
for the
both.
baselines.
In some
True.
cases, you run both.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But Pup's weird because attachments can be evergreen, might not be evergreen. It kind of requires you to have knowledge going into this job.
Yeah.
If you want to be economical when leveling it, I guess.
Yeah. That's why when I was talking to, he's a main pup. He's doing incredibly well. He's fully studied it through and through. Zwan, shout out to you. He's been just absolutely tearing pup up. He said, if you buy all the attachments from the starting NPC, it's 1.2 million. But if you only bought what is needed or what you need to be able to work with to be able to be sustainable, it's 500K to start off. And I think 500K to be able to start is a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, between that and the cost of the things that are being farmed on a regular basis, it's not enjoyable to be able to play puck, but while playing it, it feels really fucking good from what I hear. It's clapping, it's doing well on damage, it's doing great across the board. It is a good job. You just got to have the fucking pocketbook, and I hope they address that. Otherwise,
Yeah.
You also have to buy your frames, you have to buy your turbines, and because it's a ToAU job, you have to buy your AF as well. So it's just cost on cost stacking that I think is like I think it's just over the line of unreasonable. Like I think it's playing with that line a little bit.
One of the quests you have to turn in like 200 to get the white mage like body or helm piece. I don't know which. You got to trade in 200 scrolls of
That's
200 scrolls.
So the white mage headpiece.
So you're like buying Silena or whatever it is, the cheapest thing you could find.
That's hilarious.
And be able to just, he had a macro set up where his macro was named Kill Me. And he just bought his mini and filled up his inventory and went over and was just trading left and right on there.
I do
And
that with my controller on things too.
I mean, that sucks, but I'd rather trade 200 scrolls at 100 gil a pop or even a K a pop than have to out camp 15 motherfuckers that are spawn killing 3 mobs for 15 pieces of upgraded gear.
Yeah.
It goes back to my argument with Enlight, which I don't love the idea of a piece of your kit being locked behind something that like you just don't get a lot of access to. Do I think that there should be some very rare pup attachments that you get from like high-end crafters or like high-end content? Yeah, sure. Do I think that there should be 12 attachments you can get locked behind 3 spawns or whatever that looks like? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and I would like to also add to this, past what DA has been saying, is there are high-end attachments that are hidden behind. It's a combination of ISNMs, which are basically BCNMs, where you spend your Imperial standing instead, and you can do them once a day. You can pick one from the 60 cap or the 75 cap, and you can do that one, and that's all you can do. And then there's a Shoot to Leaf, which is this separate piece of content that was in Era, but has been items have been added to it. So originally the Barbarossa's Mittens, I think, and Pants, I think that's the name of the 2 items, where things people might recognize from the past. There's a 3% haste pants that are bis for pup and core, and then a pair of hands that are like Arak. which are really just a Thief RAC piece. But now you can get things, you can get some very valuable puppet attachments from that weekly lockout piece of content, as well as the ISNM's daily lockout content. That was my perspective. I didn't know about this in between that you were talking about, DA. I think it's interesting to have a 3 mil attachment, I guess, whatever the economy wants to price it at, being really strong as a chase item. And then the NPC buyables that you start with, personally, I think that price 500K to 1.2 mil is a fair price for if you're going to have one job that costs Gil as an entry requirement and doesn't, and then has less gear requirements to 75 than other jobs. I think that's an interesting space to play in. The middle space that you talked about is definitely something that I was blind to. We got a 1.5 mil attachment or something from doing ISNMs. We sold it as a group. Yep. We all split the Gil. That's a way of putting Gil making power into the hands of the population. So now the rich people want to buy these 1.5 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil attachments because they want to be the first to have them. I think that's a good thing for the general populace, but it's a bad thing for people who have the FOMO of not having the best attachments.
Azure Sleep's great when it's not crashing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hear your point, and again, I would just disagree when you say it's a justifiable and 500K would be at a good entry price. You for your thief or your red mage or your thief, you had to buy gear for your thief to level your thief, right? Puppet Master, you buy the gear and then drop another 500K. So if you're considering that the same as other jobs, I mean,
I'm not considering it the same. I'm saying this job has a buy-in that other jobs don't have, and I think that's interesting.
And you're okay with that one being a buy-in?
Yes.
I don't think a buy-in should hit a job until level 30, but I hear you and I see where you're coming from.
We all have different opinions on it.
That's my opinion. I think it's cool to have a job with a buy-in.
To be fair, in that post that we referenced earlier, the recent one from Eric and the devs, I believe they stated that pup attachments is something that is on their watch list. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's right. Slow mode in the pup channel. # put a sloth in there when you get an opportunity, guys.
Yeah. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments.
Yeah. I honestly, I really do see like kind of both sides to it. Like that's what I mean when I say it toes the line with unreasonable. I think I lean towards it's right over that line.
Drew, and have you ever walked into a sharper image?
No.
God,
does this place still exist? Does sharper image still exist?
I don't. You know what? That's a lie. I used to work in a mall. I've been in a sharper image.
Yeah. You go in, there's fun doodads, but they cost more money than you're willing to spend.
That's a Brookstone. You're defining a Brookstone.
Okay, Brookstone, great. Cool. Any last words on the puppet stuff? Because I don't want to monopolize the end of that.
No, I told Swan I would personally represent his puppet on here, and I felt like I did an okay job.
Great.
I think puppet's the most subject to change. Is what I'll leave my statement at.
It's powerful as shit.
You can tweak it. There's a lot of levers that you can tweak on pup, whether it's cost or power.
Cost, damage, power. Yeah, like I mean,
a mid pup is still doing incredibly well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got to level 50 on the base frame, so and honestly, didn't even really bat an eye. So
yeah.
All right. Okay. Where do we jump to next? I have some notes.
You want to talk about Thief and Red Mage merits, Squatch?
Yeah. Okay. Let's. I did mention we wanted to move on to merits as well. Yeah. So some jobs had merit stuff removed and then given to them. Bard is the example. It had the songs given to them, Servente and Dirge. Thief had their merits removed. Ambush was removed, and we got this thing called Oppressor, which is when you bully a target, you then get, for each Oppressor merit level, you get minus 17 ranged reduction speed. It's essentially flurry, a 17% flurry on your next ranged attack. I think it's cool. Who knows? It's hard because our other merits are Aura Steel, which people are generally going 1 of 5 of, which gives you a dispel effect on your steel. We're getting Feint, which is historically very well known as the evasion reducer on Zerg fights. And then we have what was the last one? Feint, Oppressor, Aura Steel.
Spoil.
No.
Oh.
Either way, ambush was removed. Ambush said when you're behind a mob, you would go 5-5 on it if you were playing melee thief at all, and it would give you if you were behind a mob, you get 3 accuracy per merit, and it's not in the game. So what thief didn't get is any mention in this post that we referenced, where Dark is getting some love in 2.1. Corsair Die is potentially coming eventually as well, and I think there was another merit category mentioned somewhere, and it was like Thief was just ignored. The Thief community was like hoping for like given Ambush as a 5-5, similar to the way the bars are getting their songs. I don't know why it's not here. I think it's a perfect addition to Thief. Right now, Thief is very behind in accuracy versus other jobs who can maintain full haste sets and also high accuracy. Thief cannot do that. You have to pick between the two. And I would just like to be, okay, but if I'm behind a Bob, I hit them more accurately. It's weird that it's not there. And that's the Thief community's kind of viewpoint right now. We just, like Thieves are tired of complaining. Dark Knight's got a perfectly valid opportunity to complain, I feel like. And then... but Thieves are like, they're just like tired of asking for things. It's like the job that like it's just not given DPS tools that it needs to be like a proper functioning DPS job in a merit situation or whatnot, because they're afraid of overpowering it, because then you'll only bring Thieves. So anyway, I needed to rant a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
The last merit is Assassin's Charge.
Assassin's Charge, thank you, which is not good.
No.
I just made a face because when he said a DPS party would only want to bring Thieves, I laughed because that's who wants to only bring Thieves?
There was a wide gap between that being true. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. You said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and more so for like, if you think of like H&Ms, which are already bringing Thieves to make sure they land their skill chains. And also because Accomplice and Collaborator are very good for controlling hate off the mages, is like we're already like cycling Thieves on some content for those utilities, and people want to play
think that
other
they
jobs.
just don't want Thief to be a damage job? They just want it to be like a support damage job, like that. It to me is where they're going with it.
I mean, I think that's good, and I like it. It's just so much more nuanced than like, that's cool, but why are we behind on the accuracy and the attack, and we're spamming more JAs than any other job and losing DPS uptime? And why doesn't our relic have accuracy, which it didn't in Era? I get that, but we're just behind on too many avenues. Where like simply something like Ambush would be a lot of goodwill to say like, okay, we think it'd be okay if you be accurate if you're behind a mob compared to other jobs. It's already a skill testing job. Like think about this: Warrior hits Berserk, they've got full up time on their Berserk, and they're already doing that 20% extra attack damage worth. If a Thief hits a sneak attack and the mob turns, we're already behind on DPS versus every other job. We've got to land all our positionals at all times in order to even be behind the other DPS jobs. Again, things like merit parties where it matters, where your DPS is in full view.
And I think he mentioned they're not looking at the DPS side of things; they're looking at the support side of things, and it's not about the uptime.
But the rest of its kit is. So like I agree with you, is like it's cool as a job for its support abilities, and I like where they are. Faint being the new addition, but
I feel you.
Yeah,
I do. Dancer. The reason I do is because Dancer's gear, when it was rolling out with like ambuscades and such like that, all their gear was not ambuscade. The Rashizima omens. When they were doing the omen fights in the tier 3s and such, all Dancer's gear was, I think 4 out of the 5 pieces were pushed towards healing waltz or curing waltz or divine waltz. It was never DPS side of things or tanking side of things. It was more so being able to be a frontline healer, and it felt like you were trying to get me to play a specific way instead of being more versatile of my play style. So I do feel where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's the same argument I've made in the past on the dancer side of things. So I feel you. I was just playing devil's advocate because we're doing that a few times tonight.
Yeah. I don't want to linger.
It's Horizon.
I don't want to linger on the thief stuff too long. I'm sure I haven't even scratched the surface of what like the thieves in this expansion are feeling, because I've been told like thieves are having a good time out there. For example, camping puppet master attachments. I'm sure they're doing very well at that. I haven't done any of that.
Black Mage spell scrolls until recently.
Black Mage Spell Scroll is another one. Do you want to just describe that scenario real quick so we don't have to linger on it too much?
Black Mage's Merit 2 category used to be all the 6 elemental ancient magic 2s. It is not any longer. It's its own category. I think subtle spells on there, and I don't think it was working, but I don't know exactly what's on there. Instead, the AM2s have been put on spell scrolls and distributed across different like black mage mobs across the world.
Pirogos are the big ones.
Pirogos are the big ones. There was only one Pirogo spawn recently. Now I believe there's 3 maybe, since the patch on Friday.
Yeah.
But what was happening is black mages were just controlling the space and then like bringing like a thief to TH for the drops.
Some black mages were, other black mages were not.
Other black mages were not. In order to kind of equalize the playing field, the Friday patch changed it so that the AM2 spell scrolls are now no longer affected by Treasure Hunter. Now, I think now black mages don't need to bring friends to go do spell scroll farming. They can do it on their own time. I'm
with DA's face on this one.
I'm ambivalent to this change. Like, part of me is like, having Treasure Hunter is like kind of a core aspect of this game.
Yeah.
At the same time, like I get respecting like a player's freedom to do things on their own time. I don't play Black Mage. I don't care, but I understand it. Like the AM2 spell scroll situation is causing like some issues with black mages right now.
It would really help with tier 2s if we didn't have to actually HE&M tier 2s. If we didn't have to bring a thief, we could fill it with another healer or DPS slot. So let's just say that Treasure Hunter doesn't affect that either. It's like, why the fuck the fuck kind of changes that? That's picking and choosing what TH affects. Are we getting into that realm? Are we going to be specific on what we feel like a core mechanic of what a job is, whether it affects it or not?
I mean, this game, I'm with you.
My gut reaction is, what the fuck?
I'm with you because I think this game is all about pressing your advantages in a lot of ways. And like, if you have a thief friend who's willing to come out and help you, it's an advantage. Like, I don't know. It's complicated. I don't understand. It's kind of like when we discussed like not releasing the new job relic until a month after. Like, why? Like, why do it? Has it really been that much of an issue? Again, I haven't been participating in that. So maybe some black mages in the comments will be able to tell us why this matters more.
Yeah, if you've participated in this, really weigh in a little bit. As a thief, I found it's weird.
Familiar. Yeah.
To something you said, DA, I don't want to tangent this too hard. But I've felt for a while now, like if you could get TH2 from some other source, but only Thief could bring TH like 4 or maybe even higher if they want to add more gear. I think that'd be good because the gap between TH0 and TH2 is pretty high, but the TH2 and TH4 is like, okay, now we're talking about margins. Now we're talking about like you're getting only slightly more advantage. So I don't know.
But you wanted to value your job more?
Hold on. I got it. I saw a post in Silk Road. I want to call this out. So the new core role for a regular is going to be TH1, or unlucky is TH1. No, dude, I'm just playing.
Keep going.
Shut the fuck up. So an unlucky is TH1, a regular is TH2, a lucky is a TH3, and an 11 is TH4. There you go.
Okay, now I'm mad.
To be honest with you, that's been it was actually a really popular thought in the core thread to like.
Oh my god! I thought it was a joke in Silk Road. I saw it. I was like, that'd be funny as hell.
Core in the core thread were like, what if it did that? What, like I'm sitting here. I'm like, your whole deal is giving party buffs to people. Or what are you gonna give everybody?
I mean, they're pirates. They're going out looking for booty, and
kind of.
I'm always looking for booty.
They're looking for. Somebody clip that.
God.
All right.
It was funny you brought it up because like it was one of the things that like was popular as soon as that post went out.
Yeah. I do want to give this is random off the bat. I got to experience a rare thing that I haven't experienced in years. I got to watch and be on headset with somebody who did their first ever mat fight. They have never in retail or anywhere else ever done a mat fight because it was Beer Man Stan and Swaglet.
Oh,
Swaglet
Swag.
and Beerman's dad, they hit me
Oh.
up and said, "Hey, is the only place we can get a summoner scroll or summoner testimony off the NM in the bird place and the Temple of Ugly People?" I was like, "Temple of Ugly People, I'll bring a TH4." He's like, "No, I see you're out there looking for a party." I was like, "Dude, I'm coming out there.
I
This
love
is
those
Swag's
too.
first, right?"
I love those
So
so much.
I came out there and we farmed
cool.
for like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. We got the testimony, and I'm hyping her up. He recorded it, by the way, so I hope he listens to this. But I told him to record that. I'm hyping her up. She's like, "All right, what do I need to do?" I was like, "It's Wednesday. You're going to use Garuda's 2-hour on there. We don't know what he's going to have." She's like, "What about buffs? Can I do pro and shell?" I was like, "You won't have a sub job?" She's like, "What?" And she was all freaking out. I was like, "Go buy a light elemental, and then when you get in, pop the light elemental, and it'll give you pro, shell,
That's great.
and then so I gave her all the stuff and all the. She went in, she hit him with the 2-hour, and she didn't run away in case like the motherfucker 2-hour
No.
himself. And I was like, "Oh!" And she killed, I think it was Titan, and then Shiva. He resummoned Shiva, and I was waiting for that diamond dust to clap her ass. And she won. Her summon starts coming to her, but she still sees Matt standing there in the background. She's like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. And she freaked out. Battle was done, stepped outside, and she said her heart was just racing.
That's
and
awesome.
that
Yeah, that's
moment
cool.
that moment we all remember our original Matt fights, and I want to
Yeah.
say that I was there to be able to like walk through and experience and be on headset and listen to her freak the fuck out. And she got to I was like, hey, in my opinion, there's 3 main parts of becoming a Final Fantasy 11 player. Number 1 is defeating play online. Number 2 is your first Dunes party, and number 3 is your Matt fight. And
Yeah.
once you beat those 3, you are home free on things. And they bought fireworks, went up to the Wildcat NPC, did a shout, started shooting them off and
That's
everything
great,
like
dude.
that. And
Yeah, that's cool.
I had to share that story because it was something special. You don't get to see a first ever Matt fight very often
No,
anymore.
I love that. Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Never done a retail. Ever.
That's so cool. A lot of like in a similar vein, we've been getting a lot of people who have never done a single assault in their life, and I'm like, this is
Yeah.
fun. This is just a cool thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, even
Yeah.
people who I have been playing with since this server launched, like someone who you're just so comfortable with and you've just seen them around and they're just like a fixture of this server, and then you go to an assault and they're like, I've never done this before. You're like, what? That's so it's so interesting. great.
It felt overwhelming when it came out, but it wasn't. And I think I told Quetch this the other day. It's like when you're in the desert and you've been living off the like sweat off a lizard's back just to sustain yourself for 3 years. And then all of a sudden there's a glass of water. The glass of water isn't overwhelming. You're not going to drown, but it's so much of something you haven't had that
Yeah.
it is technically overwhelming. And that's what this has felt like. It feels overwhelming because we actually have plenty of shit, and there's more to come.
It's wild that they released the content that they did, and it still feels that way. It's 3 tiers of assault. It's a shoot to leave.
18 missions.
18 missions, which are mostly cutscenes. Let's be real. It's
A lot of quests. Like all the quests are in the game.
all the quests, but those maybe you do them, maybe you don't. You don't even know which ones to do. You don't even know what ones lead to like anything.
Ones that say 3 Imperial gold pieces.
It's been a really cool sort of total. The overall picture has been very interesting.
I got a couple other. Anybody else want to go with one?
Well, I will say it might be valuable just to say like the jobs that have had scrolls, Ninja's another one that I think people thought was going to happen, weren't expecting it. All of the tier 3 Ninja Elemental nukes, the San spells are now all on scrolls. They all come from ISNMs. Most notably, they got Dakin, which is like a big thing that people will know from retail. Black mages got spell scrolls. Red mages got spell scrolls. White mages? I don't know anything about what white mage merit category 2.
Did they get the Afflatus stuff?
That's
They
a
got
great question.
They got the full cure. I don't think they got the Afflatus and such.
Okay.
But I think that's it for like spell scrolls.
No, they didn't. They got full cure, sanctuary, devotion, and martyr. Devotion effect. Okay, interesting. You pointed out red mage earlier. I do want to touch on that before we move on to anything else. Red Mage, I really like Red Mage's merits. We got end spell damage. 5/5 is 5 damage, which I've already merited 3 of 5. Obviously, you guys know I'm a big Red Mage melee end spell player. We got one that's kind of weird though. It's Battle Mage, so it's +2 accuracy per merit level, and it's +2 accuracy to daggers and swords.
Sword Hume, baby. Sword Hume. Second shout out.
Sword Hume, second shout out. If you're using a single wield Excalibur, that might be fine. Nobody's single wielding a dagger, and if you're dual wielding dagger and sword, you're doing okay. The real combo is dagger and club in terms of like end game Red Mage end spell damage. I think it's weird that you don't just make the Battle Mage melee accuracy
across the board.
Yeah. Because then at least it would be difficult for me to choose. So as a Red Mage Mandau user, I've chosen to go 5 of 5 end spell, and then I'm likely going to go 5 of 5 Phalanx 2 effect because I already have enhancing magic merits. But at least it would be a decision for me to go Battle Mage 5 of 5 as well. So I don't know. Overall, I think it's cool. I think Battle Mage should just be all melee accuracy, so at least it's a choice. Right now, I don't even think there's anybody that should take it. But since you brought it up, I wanted to bring that up. I think we've touched on all the Merit 2 stuff anybody's wanting to touch on. So now I'm going to toss it up and just call it popcorn. Whatever people want to bring up, now is the time. We can jump from whatever subject people want, and then just finish off the episode like this.
Desynth resolution with Lamia armbands and other desynth recipes need to be resolved and taken care of. Apparently, they are incorrect or broken through and through. I'm calling that one out specifically. Shout out to Gloin.
Gloin would
nothing
know.
about this.
I don't know.
I didn't either until I said, "Hey, what are you guys? Some things you want me to bring up?" He specifically sent me a tell like right then and there. Let me follow it up with a different one, which we haven't touched base on. I'm going to start it, and then this might bring up more conversation about it. Excavation has no zone to skill past level 40. Rancor or a Pargodo Reef or whatever might be good versions of where they can add in excavation, but there is no place for excavation to skill past level 40 right now. What do you think of the changes that were made to all the Helm activities?
The Helm activities. I might be the only one of us three who's actually done any of it.
Excuse me.
I have been around Dave, who has been complaining about it.
Yeah, but Dave hasn't actually done it either.
Yeah,
it's coming to clamming.
He's like level 8 logging or something.
As of when?
Yeah. Today?
Oh, okay. Literally yesterday.
Before the podcast.
Literally yesterday, Drew, and I was talking him off a cliff with it. Okay, so
I know. I will just throw it out there as someone who doesn't interact with Helm at all, and just say, I love the idea of a skill system because I'm a big number go up guy, and I like skill. I think that's just neat. There's something, I get a dopamine shot in my brain when I get like a skill tick.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I have thoughts on the fatigue system that are fine. But I haven't physically done it, so I think it's hard to have an opinion. So I don't know. I'll throw it over to you, Quetch, because you have experience with this.
I think I want to address literally what DA said. Honestly, it could be a whole separate episode where we talk about the Helm system. I'm not even sure because it's both deep, but it's also kind of shallow. The thing I would say is I think they've left room for the levels above 40 for future expansions, which feels weird. I want to go to 100 with the current system, and then I want to take that 100 into whatever future content releases. But I think if you're saying level 40, I'm just going to take you at I'm going to take Gloin at his word. If it's 40 now, maybe we get a new zone when Wings launches, and then we can go up to 50 or 60 or whatever.
But it's 40 for only excavation, right? What does logging go up to?
I don't know if anybody knows.
He specifically said excavation can't go past 40, and there's no zone for it. So I don't know if that's comparison to others. Okay. I wanted to be able to call that specifically out. And also, I think it would be okay if it was 40 now, and 2.1, you're allowed to go to 50, and 2.2, you're allowed to go to 60, and they add them during those patches. 2.3, they go to 70. So being able to scale it in, honestly, I think that's okay, but I'm not a huge fan of I
Who
don't
cares if
fucking
the cap's 40?
Yeah, I'm gonna say something I don't normally say. This is an area where I would like more communication.
Oh my god, Quetch!
Did it! Cut!
Oh my god, he took his knee pads off. Holy shit!
I just if excavation is planned to go to 40, mining is planned to go to 60, garden or what is it, harvesting is planned to go to 50, whatever those are, I would like just say them.
Sure.
And then
there was a guy
PAFO is everything
apparently-
in between.
There was a guy apparently in the jungle for a week not getting anything because he couldn't even get skill ups without going to a starter zone
You have
to
to
skill
go.
up to be in that zone.
Yeah,
And he
I
didn't know
like
anything
that.
about this being
Oh.
I like that too.
implemented. So he stayed there for a full fucking week breaking shit and not
Oh.
getting anything, and he didn't understand at all.
Yeah. I like the idea of
I
going
will
back
say
to starter zones.
That is tough if there's nothing in the game that explains the
Yeah.
fact that exists. That
Mhm.
that's friction for sure.
Yeah. I agree. There's like totally room to improve the helm stuff. It is cool that they added a leveling up system, and I just think it could use more input. It could use more scrutiny. Whoever designed it, or whatever group of people designed it, I would hope that they'd reevaluate based on player feedback. And you know, I don't say that often. I think of things like HE&Ms when I think of that. I think of things like this system. Outside of that, I let the designers like design the things they want to design and kind of hand over. I would like to see more player feedback kind of feed into that.
In the suggestion channel, I really liked the day that people found the fatigue and what helmet affected. Somebody put in the suggestion channel, if we have to be affected by it, clamming should as well. And then there was a link to Eric saying, "Don't worry, we have updates coming to clamming." So heads up, clammers, you're about to get it.
DA's day in the sun. Literally getting a
beach
tan.
Beach day. I've already killed it on Phoenix, and I'm ready for it.
That's great.
Oh my god.
Anything else? Because I got one more topic.
Here, let me see if I can throw something up. Let's see. Nope, I touched on everything I want to touch on. Go for
Drew
it.
The only thing that I would say is there's merit camps are a nightmare because they're so filled. But
People are just
wanting
meriting at
level.
all times. Yeah.
People want IS and they want a level. So
Yeah.
I too
but
want
the
both
new,
of those things, but have not gotten either.
Yeah, but the new merit camps that we found Air Plus wise, they seem pretty good. So fire away, DA.
My last one is Dynamis lockout at 3 per account was not
Ooh.
as tragic. It was what people made it seem. In fact, a lot of coins have gone down in price and value recently. More than likely because other people are doing other things, occupying themselves,
that's
spending
it.
their money in other locations,
It
etc.
is.
But it has actually gone down, and I haven't heard as much of a outcry as what it was previously. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
this may be saying a lot for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks that we've had it. I'm okay keeping it permanently at a 3. And y'all can hate me for you degenerates that run 6 a week. You can fuck yourself, all right? I'm okay keeping it at 3. Fight me in the comments.
I have gotten a message to tell me that I was wrong in the last podcast. Let's just say from a dev that the amount of people doing 6 Dynamises were a lot more than I had suggested.
Yeah, really?
Vindication, because I said it was a lot.
Yay!
I said it was a lot.
You guys, you guys raise your arms in victory.
Yeah, man, we're getting W after W tonight.
I know how
dude.
many sweaty players are on this server.
I can fucking smell them.
I would like to just elucidate what I do know. I had suggested something around 5% of the people doing Dynamis regularly. I was told it is in fact higher than that. So I don't.
Did you get a number?
I didn't get an exact number. I didn't pry. But that was the impetus for the change to 3 lockouts.
All right, so
But it's
Drew,
still
let's
temporary,
put a
right?
number. It is.
Oh.
They said temporary, but we don't. I mean,
Sure.
fuck.
Temporary.
Until they decide what
Yeah.
they want to do with it, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
My number, I don't remember exactly what it was in the last episode, but I put it somewhere between like 12 to 15, 12 probably.
Yeah, I was sitting around 10 to 12, right below you on there. But with that confirmation, when somebody reached out and specifically was like, "No, you're wrong," I'm going to say it's 19%. That's what I'm going to say.
19, all right.
19%.
That feels wrong to me.
Super
but
committal.
hey,
No, that's fine. I'm calling 19.
fair.
Look, if I can reach out and get an exact number and give a little elucidation, I'll try. But but just know that that's what I know. That's what I'm telling you guys, and like from what I've been given. So
I felt no different pressure on the zones, no different cost on the prices of things.
Yeah.
I felt basically it has zero relative on what's actually occurred. But again, people are occupied. Once the stuff starts drying up,
we
we'll
need
see
2
how
months.
far behind. Right, we'll see how far behind the next patch is, because if there's a long gap, you're gonna feel it. If there's not a long gap, then it's gonna continue this way and just be perfectly fine, because you got Nazul and other shit coming down the pipes after this.
Sure.
I will say that I think it's gonna stick around until the Dynamis rework that they have mentioned.
Agreed. I think that should be. Isn't that the next patch, 2.1? I'm pretty sure
they got lofty ambitions for 2.1. Boy, like
2.1.2.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When they said 3 months, they said, "Hey, next update will be about 3 months in for having that." The new assaults, there is no fucking way. We're not seeing it this year. We're gonna have Grand Theft Auto fucking 6 before we have a 2.1. You know that, right?
I still think it's funny.
Either from leaks or Rockstar, we're gonna have GTA 6 before we have 2.1. I'm just letting you know, because that's December.
I still think it's funny we had ToAU in 14 before we had it in before we had it in Horizon. So yeah, I think there's still a bit of room we could explore here at the end of the episode. So, dear viewer, we've been on for about two hours and change now, and honestly, there's still a ton to talk about. Here's the thing: I've had a lot of experiences. I've hung out with a lot of players. I've done a lot of like various little bits of content we didn't go over, and that's just me. Like the three of us, Drew and. Honestly, Drew, it's been awesome between you and Dave being like really playing like seriously again. It's and Cammy too. Cammy started like shortly before ToAU released. It's been nice to have the gang back together and to see you guys like really engaged, with the game again, as opposed to like raid logging or whatnot, whatever was going on with anybody prior.
I have enjoyed Dynamis for the first time in maybe my whole life, doing it on Corsair. And that's not a joke. I despise Dynamis' content, but the last 2 times we've run
2 Fridays, last 2 Fridays,
it's been great. So
yeah, I mean, what we're recording tonight, Saturday. We ran last night, and it was just so smooth. It was just a nice smooth run, and you I feel like you had been working out your contribution as a core. Like maybe you're kind of feeling like you're right there, like with what you're going to be doing, in that zone. But yeah, it's nice to have the gang back together and be doing things like IS and Shoot to Leaf together, and eventually Nizul is going to be coming down the pipe. I know DA is super excited for Nizul. Dear viewer, you could not.
No, don't say it. That's just for the YouTube people.
All right, just for the YouTube people, you get a little bit of that. But we're going to move on to the part of the show. Again, there's so much more to talk about. We're going to move on to the part of the show we call Glitch Fest.
Glitch Fest.
Yeah, exactly. DA.
You watch play the effect, and then it's gonna do DA doing the effect.
Yeah.
I love that you both know what is going on right now.
I watch the episodes. I live stream them when they release. I got another part of the job besides harassing people for time frames. I'm the one that posts it everywhere, so I'll be up.
Now is the part of the show where we take a lighthearted approach to the various glitches and things that have happened to us over our time playing on Horizon, because we know this is a fan-made project and we're just happy to be playing on the server. Who has something to throw out? Go ahead, Drew.
I got 2.
Oh, I got a really good one.
We're gonna start with Drew because he's really excited about it.
I got a server first Merglace.
Oh, that's right.
A server first what?
The Red Mage Mythic.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, I didn't physically get the weapon. Here's what happened. I zoned, and there's a clip of me.
I think I took the clip.
I was streaming at the time. It wasn't you.
Okay.
I believe it was Cameron that took the clip of it. And I came out of the Azuf staging point into Serdar Vermeer. I was just messing with my lock styles to try and get them structured. I go into my Red Mage lock style. Inside of the Red Mage lock style, it shows Merglace in the weapon slot. I'm like, why? The clip is 10 out of 10. I'm like, why is this here?
You can jump into groups. If not, we'll just do it as our group.
Why does that say
on Sunday
Mergless?
next week. But the thing is, you get a question mark box.
Hello?
And,
What is this? And it's
oh, you're right. It was
the
Cameron.
fully-
It was Cameron. I remember this now.
It was the fully built Mythic. And I went through every single bag I owned. I turned on the Find Me add-on or the whatever, and I could not find it. I rushed back to my Mog house to switch to Red Mage to see if that lock style would actually overlay over my Joy.
Hold on before you answer. Mind you, D8, when he says it was the fully built Merglace, the DAT 75. The DAT read perfectly. It read exactly like you would expect the DAT to Merglace to read. It was like Death Blossom in quotation marks. It was like Aftermath, like dot accuracy attack or whatever. You know, if you've seen a level 75 Mythic, you know what that DAT looks like.
Yeah.
It read perfectly in his window. And then
I switched to Red Mage. I do the lock style. I put it on, and my blue Joyous was still there. And I'm so devastated that I cannot lock style the Merglace that the game thinks I own.
it's still in your...
To this day, it's still there. I could log on to 11 right now and go into my lock style set 1 for Red Mage, and it shows me a Merglace.
In post, I'm gonna go ahead and request that picture from Druin so we can see it on the podcast.
You should play the clip.
Done.
It's good. It's a good clip. Cameron and I were both freaking out. We were like, where is it? It's in my bag somewhere. I need to find it.
I think I was in voice. I was like, can you load Find or whatever?
Yes.
Log Wardrobe 7. It's just chilling there, but you can't take it out.
I went into all of them. The ones I don't own, I checked every single wardrobe. That was my big one. Other than the Corsair pea shooter being a bow, but I already touched on that. So
Yeah.
Right. Mine isn't that amazing. Holy shit, that's a Mythic. I have one that I'm pretty sure is going to get resolved at some point. It's something that people have probably noticed a little bit more so. It is invisible party members in the thickets or the other outlying areas, even Cadaver Mire. You'll zone out to an area and there's just invisible party members. You can't target them at all. You like hitting F4 to target the 4th party member. You can't see them. You can't target them. If you do an AoE, it will hit them, but apparently you can't target them for a cure, a heal, a spell, nothing. Usually back in the day, it used to be you'd run outside of range and then reload them by running back in. And that does not seem to resolve this issue. It's almost like you both got to log and come back to be able to actually be shown. That's something I'm pretty sure is just a hiccup because we noticed that after, I believe, rebase was done a little bit. It was like 1 out of maybe 100 parties, you'd have somebody that runs into that after like a Telly Mia or Telly Vazel or something like that. This one is happening more out of 1 in 10 parties, it seems to be. I've hit it probably 4 or 5 times in the past 2 weeks. So it seems to be on a continuous basis. So hopefully that gets addressed for invisible, non-targetable party members that you can't outrange and re-range. But that's one of my 2.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
What's weird is I have not
guy.
encountered this, but it's weird that you've been in touch with many people who have encountered this, and you yourself have had it multiple times.
I've also had it where I was invisible and they couldn't see me as well. So it's been not just me. If somebody was like, "You fucked your shit up," it's gone both ways. So, like I said, it's not very often, but it's more often than what it was. So it's good to be able to call that out because I couldn't magic. I just straight up was like, "Hey, Blue Bait, just a heads up, I cannot magic fruit you. You're on your fucking own." And he was like, "I got it as well." I was like, "Bet."
So the only thing that's coming to mind for me right now is our experience with the Shoot to Leave. Druin was the party leader in our recent run this week and like interacted with the door and everybody crashed. The whole zone crashed. In fact,
that was my next one too. Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
It wasn't. It was a regular assault. I touched the door. We didn't get the animation at all. As soon as you touch the door, R0, and the entire party R0'd.
Yeah, my group. We got a zone crash during the first week doing Ashes to Leave while we were in the second fight, and we got locked out for the week.
Lost their whole KI
cool.
or lost their whole
Well,
lockout.
Lost it all.
This is one of those where when it fully kicks you, you don't have to close the game. You just immediately hit enter and just log back in.
Yeah, that was my
really
experience.
quick. And they also put it in the notes that they've addressed it or fixed it or they're improving to fix it, whatever it may be. It was in the most recent patch notes about that is something that they're either resolving.
It's on
or
their
have
radar.
resolved. Yeah.
BC,
So
I will say, I was just gonna say, BC's been reaching out to us during crashes to try and figure out what doing legwork. It's awesome. So yeah.
So I've done 15 assaults. I've had it happen one time. So it's not massive, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So
we lost an assault tag.
So
Get fucked.
So that was them the first week. The second week, which was where I was a part of, we didn't lose attack. We didn't lose a shoot to leave when Druin interacted as a Corsair. So we made the joke that it's like, okay, let's remove some variables here. If a Corsair interacts with a shoot to leave, it crashes. So let's have a thief do it or whatever, red mage or whatever I was. So I did it. Okay. So then we defeated the first one. The second one we won, and then we were all leaving. You leave this little boat. It's like a lifeboat or whatever, the dinghy. When you leave a shoot to leave, on all three fights. So in the second fight, we went to leave, and then when Murph Bones, who was on Dragoon/Mage, left, it crashed again. So it crashes. So we're like, okay, so we know Dragoon/Mage should not exit the boat because that'll crash. No core.
Dragoon.
No Dragoon/Mage. We're like, just kind of like making stuff up, like superstition to see what crashes things.
Well,
but
when we were leaving out of the third fight, we were all going to the lifeboat, and Dave just goes, "No, Murph, you have to warp. You cannot leave."
Holy shit.
We didn't get the pants or the hands we were looking for on that run, but we're looking forward to next week as a small group. Was that your last one, DA, for Glitch Fest?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Phoenix beta things before we wrap up, because I know we're almost there.
Absolutely. Let's jump onto that. Still plenty of glitches that we've all experienced, but you know what? Stay tuned for next episode, everybody. We'll talk more about ToAU because we're all enjoying it. We're all loving it.
Yep.
But how was the Phoenix second beta? Was that what it was?
The beta's still going on. It's continuous on there,
continuous,
but they did two massive tests. They did one where it's a stress test of the server for starting zones, having everybody log into one zone and stress test the mobs and see if the zone is stable and killing, et cetera, like that. Seemed to go pretty well. That one was perfectly fine, nice and easy. The other one was H&M camping for Claim Shield. We're testing Claim Shield on not just H&Ms, but all H&Ms. And I love the fact that I was able to get in headset. All of us were able to get in headset. They have the entire room muted, but you can talk in the chat of the channel. And they would give instructions on this is the process. We're right now sitting at a 5-second claim shield. If it feels too long, we could shorten it to 3. If it feels too short, we could lengthen it to 8. We want to see what the community feels on this and feedback on it. So they would say, all right, it's going to pop in about 15 seconds. It'd pop, everybody spams, making sure that a certain amount of people hit it. It was really great. We teleported to different H&Ms and they were force spawned. I do want to point out, I got to flail Jormagon. It was fucking amazing. I sat there and I won the claim and I immediately ran behind him and weapon skilled that motherfucker, and I just killed dozens of people. It was cool as hell, man. But no, we had a good time. The claim shield feels fine. I did like how they were getting feedback from the community that was engaging in testing with it right then and there. But on top of that, they found a way to be able to prioritize the loading of the mob, even with a massive amounts of players in the area, so it doesn't pop invisible. Sure. So they did that in front of us, where you could see it at a distance pop, even if you can't see all the bodies around you. You'd have 200 people, but you'd see the mob, and it was a prioritized pop on there. And I thought it was really cool. We could see them testing, give feedback, discuss, and we went around the world just knocking shit out. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I did get in trouble because they said the last one we're going to do is I think it was Cerberus. That's the when they spawn Cerberus, they said we want a legit party of 75s, no extra gear on them to try to be able to beat him. So they spawned him, we engaged, and everybody's hitting, and it's like ticking down or whatever. It was my alliance. We got claim, and I went up and I just weapon skilled with the King's Justice mythic. Just boom! I hit him. It was like 5.5K, and they immediately checked my gear, and I was wearing a judge's cape.
Oh no!
I was wearing a GM cape, and they were like, "This son of a bitch." I was like, "I'm sorry. I took it off and back
Banned.
apart. Yeah, exactly. I got banned in beta testing, but I want to give a shout out just because of the communication that they had with the engagement and the organization of it. They should have more coming down the pipes for others, but it went really well. I want to give them their props.
Rock on, dude. I mean, it sounds like you had a great time.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I guess one more slight shout out. I'm not too familiar with what is going on, but I know that the Cat's Eye server is getting Abyssia. Soon.
Shit.
Yeah,
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah, Timoli was talking to me about it in stream chat. So, you know, a lot of work going on in the private server space. He's been doing a lot of the solo self-found, I think, the Crystal Warrior thing over there. So, yeah. They're looking forward to it as far as I understand.
Have servers done Abyssia before?
I haven't heard. This is the
Not
first
that
time
I'm
I'm
aware of.
hearing of it.
Yeah, same. That's why I was curious.
Yeah.
I'm not super into the private server scene, so I don't know
Yeah.
what has been accomplished, right?
Yeah.
But Abyssia seems like a huge task.
So I don't. Hey, if you're part of that, if you're part of the Cat's Eye server, you're looking forward to that. Let us know down below what is going on over there. Because we've been super involved with Horizon and not so much on Cat's Eye. So yeah, let us know. But other than that, I think that's it for today's episode. It's been a huge discussion, and I feel like we're maybe at most half done talking about everything that we've been through the past couple weeks.
I think we touched everything. We feel like we want to talk more about everything we talked about today and dive more into it. But that comes with experience, time, changes, decision-making updates.
Patch updates.
That's so much.
Gil comes with Gil.
Yeah, absolutely.
I haven't played Pup yet. I'm sorry.
But yeah, if you hey, Level Sync podcast available on both Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. Generally, the places most people find their podcasts. Give us a like or a comment or whatever you can do on any of those platforms. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next episode. This has been Level Sync, and yeah, peace out, everybody. Bye.
Deuces.